blind, I could not see, thoughtless, not free. Doctors on the scene with poisonous fists, they call it the vaccine. And if you ain't asleep, you know exactly what I mean. If my mama really knew, she would breach the roof. I just hope she knows the baby only seeks the truth. I learned not to trust the system of the institute, and I feel I need to get that knowledge into you. Mama raised a truth seeker, every day making way, exposing the deceivers, trying to wake up all the sleepers. Listen for a minute and I'll make you a believer. Mama raised a truth seeker, every day making way, exposing the deceivers, trying to wake up all the sleepers. Listen for a minute and I'll make you a believer. In school I was taught lessons, a young truther asking questions, while all these other motherfuckers guessing. Elementary just wasn't meant for me. Y'all keep your fake history, the shit is not a mystery. That it's all lies, and if all lies would open wide, and see in 2020 vision be nowhere to hide. It's so clear as a clear blue sky that we never see anymore, just trails pass by. And remember the conspiracy theorist said it's a lie. They're spraying chemicals in the air, but you still deny. So how can I get you to see anything if you're blind? Like the moon landing's fake, NASA lies all the time, and government officials are just the elite puppets. I'ma probably get murdered for saying all the shit, fuck it. Tired of this world anyway, getting bleeded by the day. Sheep will keep sleeping, truth seeker, I'm away. Mama raised a truth seeker, every day making way, exposing the deceivers, trying to wake up all the sleepers. Listen for a minute and I'll make you a believer. Mama raised a truth seeker, every day making way, exposing the deceivers, trying to wake up all the sleepers. Listen for a minute and I'll make you a believer. I was cutting classes, fucking blasting, straight mapping, looking at the globe laughing. Yo, we see way too. I was cutting classes, fucking blasting, straight mapping, looking at the globe laughing. Yo, all of NASA's pictures of Earth are fake. They're all fake. Yeah, I was cutting classes, fucking blasting, straight mapping, looking at the globe laughing. We can't get to the moon today, never mind 60 years ago. Every day making way, exposing the deceivers, trying to wake up all the sleepers. Listen for a minute and I'll make you a believer. Mama raised a truth seeker, every day making way, exposing the deceivers, trying to wake up all the sleepers.
I'm on the next level, yeah, I know you heard about it.
Motherfucker.
You know I'm bout it, and don't you ever doubt it. I'm incomparable, that's why they staring though. Turn up the stereo, check it out, check it out, check it out. I'm hot just like a sauna, New York to California. Too hot, too hot. You ain't seen nothing like this, nobody do it like this. I'm on the next level, next level, on the next level. They all tryna catch up to my next level, next level, on the next level. Check it out, check it out, check it out. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la.
Motherfucker.
You like that old school, back in the music, that shit is old news. I'm popping through the ceiling, that's my motto, that's my motto. I lead, they follow. I'm hot just like a sauna, New York to California. Too hot, too hot. You ain't seen nothing like this, nobody do it like this.
Motherfucker.
I'm on the next level, next level, on the next level. They all tryna catch up to my next level, next level, on the next level. Check it out, check it out, check it out.
Hi guys, welcome back to the show. We got a bunch of people here already, 15 people. I'm bringing in my co-host, my brother from another mother, my wingman, Shabu.
Yes. Jen, welcome. Thank you for the
Yeah.
presentation.
We decided to go big tonight on Iran. We still have a lot to cover that we didn't get to, and I'm excited about that. And we also have a surprise guest with us tonight. What's up, Melanie? All right. So, guys, here we go. We got a surprise guest tonight. Here she is. Rose is back with us in the melt. Welcome back, Rose.
Hi, Rose.
Hello, my friends. It's an honor to be back. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm excited to get into Iran because I love Iran. I love Iranian food. So let me ask you guys this. Jen, remember you showed me that big, massive bowl? And you're like, maybe it's a giant made it. Just imagine those big bowls full of Iranian rice.
Rice? You mean like rice pilaf kind of stuff?
Well, haven't you seen, maybe I said that wrong and it made sense in my mind, but haven't you seen that the Iranians make mountains of rice? Like that's part of the culture. Like at like a family gathering, maybe it's because I grew up in real estate and there's so many Iranians in real estate, but like you go to one of their houses or an open house and there is literally a mountain of rice.
Wow. Well, my sister's married to an Armenian. My brother-in-law is Armenian, and they love rice, like rice pilaf and stuff. Like every big event, there's always a lot of rice pilaf. And I didn't know that about the Iranians. I'm so wrapped up in melted buildings, I really don't know much about the culture that I'm going over their country about. It's just
Well, it might as well be melted rice.
Right? It's going to be at some point anyway, because it seems like we're in line for another one of these things. Everybody's excited you're here, Rose. They're all saying hi.
Yeah, I also wanted to say that I watched your show with Crystal, and I just love her. And like, I feel like you guys are research twins. Like, you guys could like be sisters in a way. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm sure the chat knows what I'm talking about.
I was supposed to go out and visit Crystal. Hey, Jinx.
Yeah, she comes to say hi.
I was just talking to Shapu before we went live. Jinx wasn't making a sound. As soon as we go live and he's on screen, she's like,
She needs that attention.
Yeah. But I was supposed to go out and visit Crystal back in May. I had the ticket booked and everything. And it turned out, my mom wasn't going home when she was supposed to go home. She had that reaction and was in the hospital and almost lost her life. So my whole plan changed. I was not able to go out over the summer because it's just too damn hot out there for me in the summertime to be climbing all over melted buildings and stuff. So I'm waiting until October. I already have the dates picked out. It's going to be the 14th to the 21st. I'll be coming back on my son's birthday because he's his 21st. Anyway, I may stay a little longer than 7 days, actually. She's got a lot of stuff she wants to show me. She's talking about, taking a tent and camping out and just going to all these different locations. So I'm really excited about getting out there. And also any donations from this point on, since I've already looked at the ticket prices and all this stuff, and I know what I'm going to need out there, all my donations are going towards the trip out there. So meltologists are going to be on the scene. We're going to be climbing all over melted buildings. We may even be sleeping and camping out in these melted buildings. So I'm really excited about that.
Wow. It's going to be quite a trip.
Yeah.
You're muted, Rose.
Sorry. Have you guys ever seen those hotels that they advertise just in all of these remote places that seem like they're built into these like structures or melted buildings, whatever they are?
Yes.
Like, I think that there's a couple of hotels where you could actually be underground, under a mountain.
There's ones in Arabia, isn't there, Shapu, somewhere in Saudi Arabia or something where they have like it carved out, or like they have it like people could sleep in there. Like I think we showed something like that on our show one time.
Yeah, there's a place in Saudi Arabia that's a restaurant in the canyons, but the one that I show, I think, was in the United States, in Arkansas, I think. You can go into the side of the mountain, and your room is like full of stalactites and stuff like that. Yeah.
Huh. I forget where that place
I just found an article.
Rose.
10 stunning hotels carved out of nature.
Oh, this should
And it
be
kind of
good.
looks, oh my gosh, it's right up your alley. Check this
All
out.
right.
I'm putting it in the chat.
You want to do a screen share on it? We'll take a look at it.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
down for
I can do
that.
that. Okay.
Holistic
All right,
Media,
here we
Super
go.
Mesa Melt, Jenny. What's up, Jenny? Jenny sent me something pretty cool earlier today. I'm going to show it tonight.
Nice.
Oh, nice. So yeah, if you put this up on your screen, next time you guys look at melted buildings, don't forget to check and see if it's also a hotel.
Okay. Yeah. All right, hold on. Here we go.
Yeah, refurbish and use these places, many places. Yeah, nice.
Oh, yeah. Let me make this big on my end so I can see what we're looking at here. All right.
All right, you're up.
Do you want to scroll down on that?
Oh yeah, duh. Oh my gosh. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, enjoy. I'm just sitting there.
You're in control, Rose.
Okay, so here's Adrere Malal in Siwa,
Oh.
Egypt.
I like your accent there.
Okay, that's a cool hotel. Oh wait, okay, wait. Sometimes I never know if I'm looking at an ad, but that was it. Okay. And then we've got, oh, what the heck what am I looking at? Oh, we're inside an igloo of some kind. So this doesn't count. Ice hotel. All right.
Nice hotel. Yeah.
Okay. All right. The ice ones don't count. Ooh, look at this one. Okay. Oh, see how this is the new stuff, and then look back up here, like in the background up there. You can see right here. Look, those look like they smushed down windows. Look, that's an obvious layer for them. There we go.
Yeah.
Jen, I'm getting too excited. I'm becoming like you. Look at that. Oh,
Scroll back up a little. Oh, yeah, I see it now, Rose. I'm sorry. I had to make it big on my end. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I got to make it more. I don't know if it will let me make it more big, but yeah, it's being lame. But you can see here, this line. Look at that whole, all on the same level. Look here, here.
Man, you got it now, girl. You can't stop seeing it, can you? It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's like there's Waldo, but like you're like more. I'm like more obsessed now at pointing these things. All right. Anyway, maybe we should get into it. I don't want to steal the show with the extra.
It's all right. It's all good. They use a lot of these old places and just refurbish and use them now for people and tourists and hotels.
Yeah. Look at what they do in Turkey with that stuff. I mean, people are living in those things and stuff.
Yeah, they use it as their houses. Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. So we're going to get into Iran so we can wrap that up. And then I guess from Iran, we have to do, what are we doing after Iran? Iraq?
Oh, we could do Iraq and a couple places all around it, like Balochistan and all these small countries. They have a lot of stuff also. So.
Right. All those countries like Pakistan and everything.
Yeah.
We got a lot of stands to go through. And Turkmenistan, that's going to be cool because Turkmenistan has Islamabad in there, if I'm saying it right. And that's a circuit city.
Is Islamabad and Islamabad two different places?
I'm not sure. I could be saying it wrong. Don't know. Islamabad or Islamabad, I don't know which one, but it's a circuit city. It's free energy and nobody there pays for electricity. They all drive white cars. There's Antiquitech, modern Antiquitech everywhere. You can look at it and see how it's set up like a circuit board. Have you ever seen Islamabad? We covered it.
I think it's Islamabad with the D. Yeah. I'm looking at it right now. Mm-hmm. Why is Islamabad so famous? Islamabad is known for the presence of several parks and forests, including the Margala Hills National Park and the Shakarparian. It is home to several landmarks, including the country's flagship Faisal Mosque, which is the world's 5th largest mosque. So that's what Google has to say about that. But I know what you guys are going to bring to the table is way more interesting than that.
There's also an article out there that says Las Vegas looks like a circuit board from 10,800 feet. I think that's interesting, too. I showed that a couple years ago on my show. But basically, Turkmenistan is a closed country, and people aren't allowed in. So, but anyway, we're going to get into Iran. And while you're getting your stuff ready, Shapu, I think I'm going to say hi to the chat here. Scroll up a bit.
Yeah, you want me to go over all of this right away? Yeah, we could. What else did I have? No, I found like stuff this week also that maybe wanted to show.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We can get right into whatever you got lined up. Let me see here. I got Jenny T. Murphy in the house. I got Messa Melt. Gaza is in the house. Melanie is here. My girl Melanie. Melted Inverted Realm is here. We got 23 people. At least it's not 33. I'm sure it will be any minute now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Meltdown Under. What's up, Meltdown Under? You're actually not under. You're over and out on the plane, not under on the ball like they want you to think you are. And you're actually, if you're in Australia, down under there, Australia here on the map, if you can see it, is right here, and that is on the outer ring of the what they say is an ice ball. So you're right there.
Yeah, Australia, it's really big country. You know, when you look at a globe, it doesn't look like that, but it's as large as the United States. You know,
and it seems to be long and stretched out like that, not the way they show us.
Have I ever mentioned to you guys about the story I learned from my friend in Australia who's a miner?
What? I never heard it.
no.
And finding gold. Okay, so he doesn't work for the company anymore, so I could say what the company is. It's called BHP. And I thought this was so interesting about how they can easily tell where the gold deposits are in the earth just by looking at the topography. And when there's going to be a big gold deposit, it comes in the shape, if you like plot where all the gold is, for some reason it comes in the shape of a pan with a pan handle. So when you start to dig down and you find it, you know that that's just like the tip of the iceberg. And once you get down to a certain point, it's going to open up. So the company he worked for, they called themselves a copper mine. And what they would do is just harvest all this copper, and they just keep going and digging and digging and digging. For about 30 years, he had some coworkers that had been there that long. And every now and then, while they're mining this copper, they come upon a massive boulder of pure gold. It's so pure that like you could smush it with your finger. So what do you suppose they do with this massive amount of gold? What they do is they call in a private international security and they cement it in where it is and digitally and physically tag it so they know its location, and they keep digging. Why? Because if they were to bring these boulders out and add it to the market, it would devalue it. That's how abundant our wonderful, amazing earth is. There's just so much plenty. There's plenty of everything. But what they do is whenever they feel like making some money, then, you know, they'll just bring up a little bit and send it to the Australian Mint. And this is just one mine, and there's several mines in Australia like this, but that's not even the biggest mines in the world. I think some of the biggest mines are in China.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of creepy because, you know, at any second there are human beings who can make that decision. Oh, we're going to devalue gold tomorrow. But I guess the reason why it hasn't happened is because it wouldn't be in their best interest either, because things going that way would be like too much, and then like they wouldn't be able to get dinner that night either. You know what I mean?
Wow.
But it's so creepy, isn't it?
It is. That's interesting how malleable the gold is down there at that point. Maybe it's because it's still hot down there. Because I'm imagining, you know, the base structure of our plane is being some kind of circuit board, you know, like some kind of bricked out free energy grid system. And what is one of the components in our circuit boards but gold? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, you're muted.
This is why I'm obsessing over gold. Yeah. I like to mute myself because I'm really trying to work on not interrupting people and waiting till they're done talking. So I don't mind talking if no one can hear me, because I want to hear them say the rest of their sentence anyway. But I just want to clarify one little thing, that pure gold, actually, Jen, no matter where it is soft. That's why we don't usually see pure gold in jewelry, and it has to be mixed with something else and called an alloy so that you kind of work with it.
Mm,
But yeah, real gold is smushy.
wow. See, I
Yeah,
didn't
they
know
mixed
that.
it with copper. Yeah, because it's so malleable. Yeah.
Wow. See, you learn something new every day. Isn't that amazing? We got 28 people here, guys. Welcome, everybody.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
And we have, what is this name again? I always forget, Shapu. Tell me what the name is.
Oh, she told us to call in Ame-chan.
Emma-chan?
Ame-chan. Yeah.
Ame-chan.
Yeah.
Welcome, Emma-chan.
Uh,
And
means
this is the
candy in Japanese.
Yeah,
and this
that's,
is
I
the
just want to
person.
say that if they want to type hiragana in the chat, I could read hiragana and I don't want to forget. So if you want to hear me read out their comments, but don't use kanji. I can only do hiragana.
All right, we'll check that
I don't
out.
know any Japanese, so
Yeah, me no. I have no idea. Banzai. I think that's all I know. Oh, and there was another one I know too. Let me think. Ishiriwa or something like that. I don't know. I think it means thank you.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Yeah, I think it's
Does that mean thank you?
Chinese. I don't know.
Oh, it's Chinese. See, I'm so muffed up.
No, I don't. I'm not sure. I don't.
Something means thank you or something like that. Something. I'm not sure.
I just have a soft spot in my heart for Japanese because I took 3 semesters of Japanese and I was doing really, really well with it. And my family didn't believe me that I could basically speak Japanese.
It's not an
And
easy language to learn.
it was so much fun and I loved my teacher. And I was like an old person in college. And so, like, you know, I was just like one of those people that was just totally immersed in it. Like I was over the social aspect of college, you know, so I was just like always in the office hours and everything. And then of course, like, I'm so sorry for being cliche, but I had a medical emergency. So I had to be in the hospital and my Japanese teacher came to visit me and my parents were in the room and she sat down and she started talking with me and my parents were like, oh my gosh, she actually can talk. And now I think I've really lost it. Like ever since I moved to Louisiana, I haven't been using the Japanese, but I think I can still read it. I just won't know what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's like riding a bike, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
it,
my
it,
goodness.
it will come to you back when you just start to hear like somebody talk in Japanese. Yeah, oh, I know that word, or I know. Yeah, anyway. So yeah,
Yeah.
this
I don't know how to say what are you doing? It's nani yoshimasu ka?
oh,
Nani yoshimasu ka? What is nani? So Jen, anytime like Shepu says something and you want to say like what, just be like nani.
Nani? I can do that. Nani? Nani. Nani.
that would be so funny. Just say it. All right.
Nani. Nani for you. Oh my goodness. All right, Chapu, you said you got some stuff lined up before we get into Iraq.
Oh yeah, I was listening to the book, the Oera Lenda book.
That is very
Somebody
interesting
just
stuff.
told me you should listen to or read it, but I decided to listen to it.
Uh-huh.
And then I've looked up some commentaries from people, and I found like some nice clips of sayings. One is from the writings, they say, of Plato. I don't know, the guy, but it comes from the Critias that he wrote, and there's a passage that talks about how many times this place was like destroyed or rebuilt.
Yeah, you sent me a video on that, and I was listening to it. It's pretty amazing. I've never even heard of this text, and it's just blew my mind.
Yeah, I have the one section that it's 8 minutes, but I don't know if I can play it tonight. Talks about how it should be. It is called like the old doctrine.
I like how it explained also how people broke off and had like sub societies and stuff like merchant classes and stuff. But originally, everybody was, free and living abundantly and, with each other and stuff. And
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Everybody was helping everybody, to thrive, because that's how we should live. Everybody should help everyone get to their best, when they're in trouble and they need something. But today it's not like that anymore.
today it's extreme narcissism, and the narcissists are running the world.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yep.
Yes, that's how government are doing their deal now. It's a total narcissism.
Rose, how did you put this comment in here? You copy and pasted or something? That's so cool.
I copied and pasted, but like the first character is a wa, and then the next character is a ka. And another interesting thing about hiragana is ka right there. If you put one more little apostrophe next to that apostrophe, then it becomes a ga. And then the one next to it is ri, like ri. And then the next one is ma. And then the last two, I'm actually confused. So I really should have looked before copying and pasting, because I don't agree with that. That is not the correct way. But like if you show me hiragana, I could read it. But wakarimasen over here. Oh yeah, see how the end is? That should be a ka, right? Right, home bliss. Wakarimasu ka. So that S. Okay. That was misspelled, homeless. There should be a U in between the S and the K. If I had done it right here, let me show you. Let me show you the right way. Hold on.
We're learning Japanese.
Karimasuka. Then that should bring up the right hiragana. In hiragana. Here we go. This is right. So now our friend who's from Japan is gonna. I like redeemed myself. The friend in the chat who's from Japan is going to be happy that I fixed it. So this is the correct hiragana to understand. So you can put that up there, and then I'll show you if you see it there.
Okay, here we go. Is that it there, like that?
Oh, I'm still looking at the YouTube. Okay, so wakarimasuka. So you have two kas, and the ka is in the end. A lot of times, if it's a question, ka goes at the end. Now, here's an interesting thing about Japanese. All right, every time you want to say isn't it at the end of something, I'm saying to Shapu, Jen's hair is really nice, isn't it? So whatever sentence means that in Japanese that Jen's hair is nice. If you go ne after it, it's an isn't it. So putting ne at the end of a sentence is isn't it. So if I say oishi desu, that means this is delicious. I could also say oishi desu ne, which means delicious, isn't it?
Ah, gotcha.
But if you put yo at the end of it, you're saying it's definitely delicious, and there's no buts about it. So I can say oishi desu yo. I'm telling you.
That's like delicious. Saying that's dope.
Yeah. They talk Japanese and they don't even know.
Be like, that's melted building, yo.
Yeah. Melted building desu yo. So I would say melted building is melted building melted building is. But if you say melted building desu yo, it's melted building for sure, definitely
for
is.
Sure, bitches.
I'll
be saying yo a lot tonight. Just say it.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. She says my Japanese is good. Oh my god.
Oh, your Japanese is strong. The force is with you.
Thank you.
Banzai.
Thank you so much to me.
We'll have to do some
Now I don't have to go to the Buin. That's a hospital.
You didn't lost it, Rose. Still there.
All right, Shapu, it's all you, buddy.
So
I'm like, I don't want to keep changing the subject, but I'm waiting for you to show me the stuff. I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah. Shapu's got a whole bunch of good stuff lined up.
Yeah, I'll show my. Where is it? Wait. Okay, there it is. Sorry.
I'll do finger dancing
Here.
until.
What's up, Natalie? Natalie is in the house.
Okay.
If you put your
Gold.
house,
Gold is always melted when they find it, it seems like. And apparently it's heated up and melted and mushy.
Yeah.
I wish Melanie would come up here sometime. Isn't it weird that she doesn't join our streams?
Yeah.
Melanie, I'm
What
going to get
we
together with Melanie one of these days. I'm going to fly out there and hang out with her too.
yeah. Didn't we tried once, Jen, and it didn't work out? So.
Yeah, I think she's
I
on-
would like to visit Melanie at the same time you visit Melanie. Jen, is that acceptable to you?
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
let's get in it. Oh God, that sounds
Shit.
terrible.
We'll have a great time.
That's ridiculously fun
We'll be
sounding.
getting melted and all muffed up.
Yeah, for real. I'm gonna be like drowning in glue.
For real, yo. Yeah.
People who don't know us will wonder why I'm
Be like, what up, yo?
All right.
It's a melted building, yo. All right, what do we got here, Chapeau?
We're gonna look at this 2-minute, 146-second clip of what is written in Plato's book about the destruction. All right.
Said the following, quote, "This tale about Atlantis, though strange, is certainly true, having been attested by Solon, who was the wisest of the 7 sages." End quote. A snippet of the tale is as follows. Quote, "O Solon, Solon, you Hellenes are but children. There is no old doctrine handed down among you by ancient tradition, nor any science which is hoary with age. And I will tell you the reason behind this. There have been and will be again many destructions of mankind arising out of many causes, the greatest having been brought about by earth fire and inundation. Whatever happened either in your country or ours, or in any other country of which we are informed, any action which is noble and great, or in any other way remarkable which has taken place, all that has been inscribed long ago in our temple records, whereas you and other nations did not keep imperishable records. And then, after a period of time, the usual inundation visits like a pestilence and leaves only those of you who are destitute of letters and education. And thus you have to begin over again as children and know nothing of what happened in ancient times, either among us or among yourselves. As for those genealogies of yours which you have related to us, they are no better than the tales of children. For in the first place you remember one deluge only, whereas there were a number of them. And in the next place, there dwelt in your land, which you do not know, the fairest and noblest race of men that ever lived, of which you are but a seed or remnant. And this was not known to you, because for many generations, the survivors of that destruction made no records." End quote.
Yeah.
Wow. Very interesting.
Yeah.
I have a
Very
feeling
interesting.
that, these ebbs and flows, these destructions and periods of peace and abundance, like we're talking about with the millennial reign and stuff, seems to be cyclical, and it seems to be maybe spanned over a 6,000-year period. And we really only remember one of them, or that's what's the surviving tale of the deluge, which I feel like the deluge came after the heat event. I could be wrong about this, but I think this place has like some kind of fail-safe sprinkler system. It did rain for 40 days and 40 nights. Okay, something caused that to happen. And if it, people were in line for another God's judgment, and there was an extreme heat event that shorted out a lot of stuff and destroyed a lot of stuff, once that heat rises, it may kick on some kind of water that's going to come down off the dome, if it is some kind of possibly ice type crystalline structure, or at least on the outside of it or the inside of it, our part of the inside of the dome could shed itself in that way, in the form of rain, or it could be from waters above of some sort that I'm not sure how it all works. It just seems to me like with the heat rising, it's going to cause that condensation, even like Shapu was saying, The only reason I lean towards the ice structure myself, not saying that condensation doesn't play a role in it, but I feel like the pillars that come down, if they do come down on either side, and say there is an ice wall, that it may be connected with ice that way. Okay, but I don't know. I'm not saying for sure. Could the land masses been ice free when there was no dome at all? Maybe now that there is a dome from this period, that maybe there's ice. I don't know how it all works. These are all just theories. However, I do feel like before the deluge, there was the extreme heat that brought on the deluge to cool everything off and wash everything down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually would love to comment on like a setup or not a model, but like maybe model of how. Okay, put it this way. There's you were talking about how like different cities look like grids, and then I sometimes think about the battery model idea, and so the idea of something coming down from nowhere as a cool off. That also is like something that we see in the world of electronics as well, like fans going on machines. So, in the galvanic cell theory, it involves the concept of electrolysis. So, I don't know if this refutes or debunks, or I don't know what this does for other potential theories, because you just kind of blew my mind with random things you just mentioned. But what, in terms of the cooling down, with that electrolysis process, there's this thing like a sludge that is created out of nothing, and we've proven this with the Brown's gas machine, which is the electrolysis. You use distilled water, right? It has to be perfectly distilled, and you're putting it through this process. And every 100 uses, you have to clean it, and there's a sludge. Now, check this out. Get ready to have your mind blown. Technically, that sludge is a creation of whatever was on this plate that's in the machine. What if that plate was gold? You're making gold. You're making whatever is on the plate. These are the experiments that we need to start doing with these electrolysis machines. But forget about the gold again. Just the fact that you're getting this sludge, something out of nothing. And if we are in a battery world of some kind, in whatever model is correct, then if the sun is the anode and the moon a cathode, or some other situation up there, the sludge is going to be accumulated because we're not going up there to clean it, and it's going to come down. Or maybe we can clean it with our behavior and living the way God wants us to, and it's our behavior that makes the sludge grow more.
I think we have a lot to do with a lot of things, and they're keeping us detached from it and at that low vibrational frequency, so we can't affect anything except for our own demise, pretty much. But yeah, what do you think, Chapeau?
Wait, one more thing. What if the loosh, the energetic loosh from our spiritual minds that they're harvesting from us is what can perpetuate this electrolysis galvanic cell process in our realm of existence? And so when they're successful at harvesting the loosh, then not to use a term that is so triggering to many people, make more mud to fall down and flood. Or cool off.
That could possibly be. I mean, certain areas do look very muddy. And, there's so many different theories. What do they call that? Liquefaction, all this different stuff. Building melt, rolling in and over other things, stuff that, got mixed with the deluge that was already ground down to sand and dirt. I think a lot of the salt in the ocean is due to the melted buildings themselves, the ashed out melted buildings. It's a lot to piece together. There's so many answers that we may never have, but having more people look at it and being cordial about it, you know what I mean? You may not agree on everything we say. We might not agree on everything you say, but the more people that come and try to brainstorm this out helps us maybe get a better understanding of what's going on. Like, for instance, like I said, a lot of people think there's sleeping giants out there, some of the mountains and stuff, or tree stumps or whatever. And that's fine, because at the end of the day, we can all agree these things are not what they've told us. The word mountain has no standardized geological meaning, period, point blank. So there's that. Yeah. And at the end of the day, we can agree that we've been lied to. You think it's a sleeping giant. I think it's a melted building. Somebody over here thinks it's a tree stump. Whatever. Well, one thing we can know is that if they lied about that to us, then they're lying about everything. And it's going to take all of us to try to figure it out if we're going to do it. We have to have like a think tank. We have to have boots on the ground. We have to have exploration and expeditions and stuff on our own. We don't want the mainstream media to get a hold of this. We don't want to be like, oh, it's meltology, and this is going to be approved by these peer reviews and all this stuff. Fuck those people. They're going to take meltology or your sleeping giant or your tree stump over there and blame it on some volcano or some meteor from space.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So speaking of like the cities and the idea of the Tartarian buildings, I think it makes more sense that human beings were able to construct wonderful things that were used for the purposes of healing that we don't understand. But that obviously had to have been after the last God's judgment, right? So I don't really accept that when you see an amazing architecture building that is part of some kind of ancient civilization that we don't know. I give a little bit more credence to what humans 100 years ago could do. But if that beautiful building happens to be in the town of whatever, which happens to be on the mountain of whatever, those people don't realize that those beautiful whatever they are on top of something way more trippy. So I don't equate melted buildings with the idea of Tartarian architecture, although we could be looking at melted ancient architecture that you could call Tartarian if you want. But I have a problem with the word Tartarian because just using it in this way, as I am right now, I don't feel like I'm doing a good way. I'm not communicating well because I'm using Tartarian for a couple of different things. There's there's the ancient cities over here, there, world fairs, and melted buildings. So when I would rather say old history or we've been lied to, but I don't think that my belief that humans could do great architecture takes away from the idea that there was a X Factor event that melted buildings, whoever built them. What do you think?
Let me say this about Tartaria real quick, Chapu, and then I'll let you talk there. I think it's been washed out. It's a blanket statement at this point. They've taken Tartaria over there on the map where it's not anymore, and Russian and all this stuff, and just spread it out everywhere as their explanation for all of these buildings being so similar. These buildings are so similar because they are components on the grid system. If you crack open my laptop that was made, I don't know, maybe it was made in Japan, right? And then you crack open a laptop over here that's made in the United States. They're not going to be exactly the same, but mostly all the components will be pretty much the same. It might be a little bit different design here and there or whatever like that. But this is what we're seeing across the plane. These buildings were components on the grid system and had functionality, whether they were healing buildings or I can't even fathom what half of these things could have been used for, but it's just absolutely amazing. And I think that, it was definitely a higher vibrational people that were here that had the ability for this type of creativity, which is all based on sacred geometry and not only the ley lines of the earth. By the way, if you take the globe earth and the way the ley line pattern is on it and flatten it down on our circular round plane, you have the flower of life. Okay, so this is a free energy grid system that God has created, and we're here to experience and learn and choose love and come to a higher vibrational frequency. And I think this is what all of these cycles are about that we go through. And it helps the next civilization, which is where we're at right now. It may seem like the darkest, dimmest, most horrible spot that we could be in our story, the very end of the short season of Satan, but it's actually the most exciting, the most positive, and the most amazing spot that we could be in. Because we got front row seats to this whole thing, guys. And everything that's been hidden from us is being revealed. Whether it is a sleeping giant, a tree stump, or a melted building, the thing that's being revealed is you've been lied to your whole life. And nothing is what you think it is. Not even the air that you breathe is what you think it is. The waters that you swim in, the cliffs that you jump on, the mountains that you climb over, none of it is what we thought it was. We are not even what we thought we were. And I think that's the next great thing that's going to come out, because we now understand that everything external around us is one big lie. And we're finding out it's a whole different scenario. I mean, first of all, they've had us spinning on a ball, hurtling through ever-expanding space for I don't even know how many years now, okay? And now we're found out on a flat plane. I mean, that's fucking huge. So what are we? You know, what are we? And I think that's going to be really huge and put another huge piece of the puzzle once that revelation starts to really come forth with us, because we're starting to better understand why they need us so bad and why they want to keep us trapped in this fear-based mentality. And I, for one, am extremely excited to be here at this particular time where we're at in the timeline of our story. Fuck his story. His story's over.
Jen, it is so exciting. Like I thank God that I know you during this time, that you just have the eyes to be looking at all this stuff and bringing people's attention to these things that matter, the nature of our world. And so what you're talking about right now, what you're laying down, it brings me back to understanding why the controllers are trying to get people to go into the metaverse, play their video games, and just become little like proverbial robots with UBI, and they don't care about what's going around. They're not going to notice much. They're just going to be like zombies, and their energy is going to be harvested. Then people like us, and I'm going to ask you a question with this. People like us are going to be the breakaway society. We are going to be thriving as humans who know we have the divine spark of God and that no one is above us. We are sovereign people in control of our own behaviors, right? Is that when you think we're going to find out what we really are and like have this kind of like a little bit of a leveling up in terms of like what the hell is this place and what's going on? Was how many of Brian's Mandelas were right? You know what I mean? Like getting to another level where you could just know things. You know, how many Oreos did Ceiling Fan Man take out of the cookie jar? Am I going to be able to know that? Oh, right, like immediately, and in like our high consciousness in the heaven realm? Who knows?
Dude, what would happen if you just woke up one? And I'm sorry, Shapu, I know you have something to say, but what would happen if we just woke up and we just knew everything one day? Like if you just woke up and was like, holy shit, like how do I know all this stuff? Like it could happen like that, you know? Get it, Shapu, I'm sorry.
No, I just agreeing with you guys, but yeah, it's all in the individual level, I guess. Yeah, everybody.
Oh, we got 33 people here, Shapu. 33 people.
Yes. I mean, yeah, as their own way to see this world, you know, their own path to go through, and I don't know if anybody can go all the same time, but talking about what you said about Tartaria, I think for me it's they're trying to hide a society that was working all together and communicating all over the place, this place, and working together towards the to the greater of man. That's why they could do all the same things everywhere and connect to this grid, energy grid, and they knew about it, and they're trying to hide this from people, because if people knew that there was no wars and everybody was agreeing with each other and working towards the greatest way we could be for everyone, they couldn't control do what they do today, you know, so with
exactly
the countries and the governments and everything. And that's why I found like a really nice video this week about this. That's why wars, when they do wars in countries, they usually go and destroy all the oldest buildings and like museum things, you know, like the statues and all the remains. They try to blow up and destroy the most that they can, also, you know, just to destroy the past history that is not written in words, because that's how they use now, you know, all the words and the stories to tell.
You know what, Poe, that reminds me of what you're saying there about the Bible being written on your heart, and that it maybe at one time it was never meant to even be written down. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is why Jesus preached, and then they went and preached his word. Yes. Nobody was running around it right after he died, writing it all down. As a matter of fact, it was 300 years or so, supposedly, in their fake timeline, that's when it finally started getting written.
Yeah, but writing it, and when you read it and you admire it, you do the thing that he said not to do, you know, not to praise no one and praise to nobody, you know, except the one creator, I guess. But No, yeah, you're right, Jen. It wasn't supposed to be written in any way because everybody can just learn all of this by living, experiencing life and realizing you're seeing and what you're living, and you will come to the same conclusion that is written in that book.
That's right. Basic instructions before leaving Earth. And if you're living in a high vibrational society who's teaching and living this on a daily basis, and God is already in their lives, they already have a relationship with them. It's basically like heaven on earth. You have that automatic connection with the Creator, and that is spoken to the children, and the children learn it and learn their relationship with God and how God created this. And if you take from this, you have to put back, and you have to appreciate that. All this stuff would be incorporated, embedded, cellular memory into every generation, and it would be absolutely amazing and abundant. You wouldn't need all that writing it down, passing it around, corrupting it, changing it over here and stuff like that. I think this is why we're seeing a lot of the stuff that we're seeing. Okay, so if the Bible was never tampered with by King James and his version and all these other people with all their versions, would it be changing right now? If it was written on our hearts this whole time and we never had a book to go by, would it change? I don't think it would. I'm just saying.
No, yeah, because they used to taught their children to think and look at the stuff, but now they just fill your head with what I say, bullshit, because all of it's crazy. They don't show anything real, unless they have good parents and stuff, but in schools and stuff, I
think narcissism at this particular time is running rampant, and you have narcissists who are raising narcissists. You have all the sitcoms out there and movies that portray narcissists as heroes, and the type of atypical personality is the norm. As a matter of fact, I look back now on a lot of these shows because I've been learning a lot about narcissism lately, like when Miley Cyrus had her little show when she was a young girl, and all these other different sitcoms and stuff. And I used to remember saying to myself, this is during the 90s, like, and stuff, early 2000s, I just think, why do they talk like that on these shows? Why are they all acting like they're the boss, they're in charge, and they got these smart answers? And I used to always think, why are these kids acting like this? Why and what I was realizing now in hindsight, 2023, looking back on all this shit, is they were conditioning the populace and their children to be narcissistic. And
I got to tell you that this, okay, in the mid 90s, my stepmom, who I love with all my heart, my big fight with her was because my stupid ass 12-year-old mind did not understand why my wonderful mommy Shirley would not let Sito and Maya watch Rugrats. Why? Because Angelica has a bad attitude. And I'm like, I love Angelica. It's what makes it funny, Shirley.
Right.
You need to let them watch their cartoons, or else they're going to rebel and they're going to become prostitutes. It's like just, being like trying to get her to let him watch Rugrats. And so I got into a huge fight with my dad. He said, don't talk to my wife that way. And it was the only time, because I was upset that they weren't letting my brother and sister watch Rugrats, and Shirley was right.
Wow,
she was doing great parenting.
Yeah,
it's just that my mom, when I was at her house, she was letting us watch all that crap. So I was the brainwashed, and then my half brother and half sister are killing it at life, like already owning property. My sister, 10 years younger than me, is taking over my dad's whole business. So it's awesome.
That's really good. Yeah, you got to watch what goes into your children's heads at these young ages, especially when it comes to entertainment. Even more so than whatever the crap they're filling their heads with in school. You got to watch out for this entertainment. They're conditioning conditioning and grooming these kids to be full-on narcissists. And once they have kids, they're going to raise more narcissists. And that's all you see across the board with these movies, sitcoms, even any type of entertainment that's out there now. It's all narcissistic. It's really quite disturbing once you start realizing.
The sitcoms are crazy, because if you pull out all the laughs, I think it's Owen Benjamin that showed that a lot, that if you pull out all the laughs, it's crazy. It's not something to laugh at when that situation in all of these sitcoms,
Yeah.
It's not funny at all, but they put on the laugh of the audience. There's no audience, but
And
just to
then you
make you
start
laugh,
laughing.
because it's not funny really if it happens to you.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Crazy,
Okay.
crazy stuff. I remember when my niece, when she was little and she was watching Cheetah Girls and Miley Cyrus and all that stuff back then. She really started, it was right around 12 years old. She started giving my sister a lot of attitude. I said, you need to nip that shit in the bud, turn that shit off, and, maybe smack her around a little bit, because if you don't get a nip on this now, she's going to run you. And she did give her a run for her money. I mean, she's a good girl and everything, but I could see how that generation has a different view of the world that we're in today. And they're very hard to get through to. It's very rare to find somebody around that age, in their early 20s, that is not really sucked into all the trendy stuff that's taken place. And even the latest, whatever comes down the pike off, the news and stuff like that. And including all the other, stuff, what they're doing with the LGBT crap and everything. So I'm not getting too much into that. I'm just saying that, what are we dealing with here? Why are they so hell-bent on getting people to live their lives this way and live in such a negative state and treat each other this way? It's because of where we're at. And why are we here? Because we're at the end of this cycle. And I think, hold on. Here we go. I just messed something up here. Let me see what I did here. I messed up my screen.
Yeah,
Oh
I
no!
went to split screen. My computer has split screen, and I never use it, and I clicked on it. I lost my train of thought, but Shapu, we're going to get into what you have to share.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to.
I'm going to mute out. Go ahead.
What's what is the pants theme? I'm missing the joke about pants.
Oh, it is someone in the chat. He's called Pants on the Ground. That's his name.
Oh, okay. Thank you for letting me. Now I feel learning about everybody. Thank you.
Shapu, I have to go pick up John real quick, and it'll only be 15 minutes. I'll be right back. I'll be listening as I'm driving, okay?
Okay, I might play like.
Okay, I'm going to mute out and put my avatar on.
All right. I'll hang out with Rose.
Yeah, awesome. I promise I won't ruin your show, Jen.
you don't ruin show.
You're the chaperone.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, no, you make a show like a lot better, Rose. You don't ruin anything.
I think you make the show. I mean, how do you get all of the pictures? You just have your way of typing in things in, clicking images, and then just saving everything that looks good from a certain area. Do you use longitude, latitude, or city name, or
yeah, I search city names, and afterwards places in the cities, and because sometimes it's just people that live there know that these places, and I try to find like posts from people that goes take pictures of their cities everywhere, and sometimes I can find sometimes there's not much, but yeah, but most of the time it just fall on my lap. I'm looking for something, and something just comes on, and that's where.
Yeah. I wish Jen was here. I hope she agrees with me when she listens back. But once you have that passion for something, you just can't stop looking into it and looking at things and reading things. And then it just makes logical sense that the magic will happen, because when you seek, you will find.
Exactly.
And so, how did you get all these pictures? Well, because you were passionate about it and you took the time and put your love and energy into accumulating these massive amounts of pictures. And what I appreciate the most about the fact that you accumulate them is the size of it. And that way, that no matter what someone's belief is, the pictures are there. Hopefully there's a tag about like exactly where it is on Earth. And for all of us who want to bring this forward, we can continue the conversation and try to help each other figure things out. In fact, I thought of this idea. If we built our own model, so if we made a model of Earth and we need it because we're here in 3D reality, of course, there has to be a base. And then we just show how we compare how things look over time and then show that on a model. And when we look at the model, what if we start seeing like a cymatic geometric pattern of where things are doing things here, where things are doing things from there, that if you were God looking down, it would be like the flower of life with like Pink Floyd lights flashing out of it.
That
You know
would be great. Yeah, yeah. You make like a flat plane with the dome, and you put all everything in it, and yeah, let it go, and it would be a really good experience to do, to see what happens, and yeah.
the only problem is we do not have time on our side. Like, we actually wouldn't be able to observe real results unless in some way this experiment could be um, observed on a smaller scale.
Yeah, really. Yes.
What I wanted to do was
That,
have everything where it is, and then observe what's already there, and look for the patterns to see if the patterns mean something.
yeah, that's. I don't know if you've seen the sintering and stuff that I showed, like in microscopic way. That's how I could explain like how the brick could change to different shapes just by eating and by pressure. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, please
Just
send it to me.
just like when you're forging like a sword or steel, like if you want to make something out of steel, you need like powdered metal, like iron, and you melt it, because that's how you build the steel. And but all of this, it's from tiny particles like powder, and you make like a full strong piece of steel. But if you take like powder, it's one grain of powder, it's a brick. It does the same thing when you eat and pressure, because all things melt the same way on this place. But yeah, if because on the smaller scale it's more accelerated, you can actually see it grow faster than what we are experiencing in our world right now.
Well, actually, I always feel sad to bring up something morbid, and I hope no one in the audience thinks this is too gross to mention, but for educational purposes, I will say that since I'm a paraplegic and I can't feel my legs as much as you guys can, I'm just over the years I've had massive burns on my legs. I've got crazy scars, some of which took over a year and required something called wound care to get it to heal. I've never had to take a piece of my body and put it somewhere else. I haven't had to do that, but I did have to, spend thousands of dollars on freaking gauze that had pieces of silver in it, like totally ripping you off, to make sure that you don't get like gangrene. And then you have to have appointments where they have to scrape stuff that grows in the wrong way and it hurts, but then it promotes healing. And now we're finding out that actually wasn't a good idea. But let's get away from that medical yucky stuff, because we don't have to deal with that with the mountains. There's no growing back from a living thing with the mountains. So let's just get to the melt.
Yeah.
So when the melt happens on the leg, it really does do different things all around the area, depending on maybe how close it was to the heat, how long it was stuck to the heat before something came to maybe cool it down, and if it was like the top layer of skin and how long. Like it's like a kaleidoscope of things that can be done in any given area on the body. So my big one on the knee is a circle, and then there's lots of little circles inside the circles, and it almost is like there's a wall around it, because that's the toughest circle around. And then within there, I guess you could say that there were certain regions. So it's almost like I should take a picture of my knee, and you could see, I mean, I'm sorry that I don't have any mountains on it, but you could see how if there had been mountains on my knee when it got burned, then we would have a miniature melted building diorama. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it. I am. I want you to see this. So
Yeah,
while I'm talking,
if we could like be in miniature and walk on your leg, yeah, we probably see some mountains.
oh maybe. Oh wow. Talk about, you just gave me a god complex looking down at my knee. Pun intended. Oh.
Okay, I don't know if you want to show it.
No, I'm trying to. What I'm saying, woe to, is how it looks like a city, and I might need to address the contrast. Look, look, look. If you're scared, when I take the picture, I'll look at it, I'll adjust it, and if I think anyone thinks it will look gross, I just won't share it. But I think I can make it look like a city. Okay.
Yeah, we'll try it. We'll try it. I don't mind.
Huh. Feel free to talk about everything that we're talking about. I'm just going to be looking here.
Okay, I'm just
talk about this anymore, Shafu. You have so much to share.
all right. Yeah, I was looking at the chat. Oh, Kairos, it's your birthday. Nice. Have a good day. I've seen your latest video on the San Fran. It's a crazy place. All right. No, I just want to show like a small clip. How long is it? 1 minute. That because I was. I don't know if you know about the Aurea Linda book. Rose.
Oh, Jen mentioned it to me, but I have not yet read it, so I don't know what's in it.
Yeah, crazy things. They talk about a land that was submerged and things that happen after some kind of event. But there was this place mentioned, and it's called Heligoland, and I think it's north of the UK, and the Germans made bases, and they say that they built like tunnels all over this place. But actually, after the war was over, they went there and they blowed the shit out of this. It's the second biggest explosion after the atom bomb, and I will show you like the footage of this. I don't know, like I said, they go there, they find some stuff, and then they just destroy everything afterwards because they couldn't explain what was there. It's just an island, but they say that they had like tunnels that went down really far down, and we'll just look at this small clip.
Let's look at it.
Where is it? Sorry. Okay.
Heligoland, and was recognized by both the German Kaiser and later Hitler as an extremely important base of naval operations. Something strange occurs after World War II.
This is the German island of Heligoland, the Gibraltar of the North Sea. Once a British possession, Heligoland was the key point of Germany's sea power. In World War II, it was Hitler's base for the Battle of the Atlantic. U-boat pens, gun emplacements, and underground storage tunnels are due to be blown up by thousands of tons of high explosive. They'll be fired by submarine cables and wireless transmission from the Navy ships 9 miles away. At the fourth pip of the BBC time signal, Lieutenant Commander Frank Graves of London pushes the button. "7,000 tons of bombs, depth charges, and high explosives detonate from within the island. A 12,000-foot-high column of smoke goes up. Submarine pens, coast batteries, and 8.5 miles of underground tunnels are blown sky high. It's the biggest man-made explosion since the atom bomb went off at Bikini.
And it wasn't merely obliterated, but was then pummeled with high explosive dropped by bombers with regularity for the next full decade.
Yeah, all this just for a small island that they say, and they had like 8 miles of underground tunnels in this little island of Heligoland. I don't know. Maybe I'll show you like a picture of it.
Okay. Well, I have a before and after picture. I took the picture of my knee and then I changed all the contrasts.
All right.
Do we want to see the difference between the scar before and after? So you see the definition like a melted building.
Yeah, go ahead.
You
I'd
know what
like
I
to
mean,
see.
right? Like I'm showing you that my scar looks like a melted building, even though it doesn't look like a crazy scar in real life. I just adjusted all the levels on the iPhone. Are you ready?
So this is your skin that has melted. You're going to show.
This is a picture I just took of a scar from a burn. So this is basically a like what you would call a mountain today that was melted a long time ago.
All right.
All right, so I have to be able to, I guess, share my whole screen. So entire screen, share.
Let's see your melted knee city.
Where do I find the? There we
All
go.
right.
All right, so
Okay.
here's it with the
Wait, I
extra.
will add. Okay, I just added to you.
So you can see it. Look
Yes,
at that.
I can see it.
So
So
do you
this
see
is
how there's indentation here? Look at this. Look at this here. What is this? A wall to my mountain? A wall to my city? Look over here. Look at these. This is like a cliff. This is a cliff. This is like a peak of some kind. A couple peaks here. It's a very clear circle, like an oval, with like the top part of the mountain. I see like a perimeter here, right?
yeah.
But then
Because
this is it before the filters.
okay.
That's the normal knee.
Yeah.
But by just being able to adjust, you could see the grooves. So if you can imagine, like, what from a higher scale, everything might look just flat when you're up in the sky. But then when
Yeah.
you fly down, all of these different things melt in different ways. So
Yeah, it's cavities and mounts and mounds and yeah.
But did I use the pictures to successfully explain the point?
Yeah, because everything's like the same pattern here. We all build on the same basis, and everything can do the same effect, like your knee melted by heat. It was skin, but skin it's made like some kind of same pattern as I don't know what's
Just because
waters and everything, but
we're living in a fractal world. So just
yes,
like your eyeball looks like a quote unquote galaxy or whatever that is,
yes,
a city melting, I can see evidence of that turning like that just on my own very knee being melted. I could see that even though it might look flat and soft now, all these years after it's burned, if you take a picture of it and you twist the levels and stuff, you'll see that there are cliffs and valleys and circles and walls.
yeah,
And it's just because we're like the god of the knee universe looking down, and it might feel that way to God looking down on the melted buildings, where it's just like, oh, it's I'm so much bigger than that, but there's all this incredible detail. Jen, that what I just did may have been really weird for you, and I hope you're okay with it later. But I want to make a point, and I want you to grade me after you watch this later. I want to know if it's a B or an A minus or an A plus or something like that. And I'll
Okay, I will definitely check it out and let you know.
but yeah, this world is really built on a fractal. If you go higher, you can see the same thing that goes smaller and smaller. It's the same thing.
Yeah, and the ley lines themselves being the flower of life, that's a fractal as well. So it's all based on fractal, and sacred geometry breaks down into fractals.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. Melanie Moran says you get an S. She's giving you an F.
Oh, Melanie. Oh, Melanie. I hope I'm not even going to say what I was going to say.
I don't even know what it was.
I love you too much, Melanie, to say the wicked thought that crossed my mind that you'll now never know because I'm a good person and I always feel good.
F minus? She's saying F minus. Oh my
Oh,
god.
Melanie, you are up. Is it because you thought that my body is ugly that you can't even look at it? My knee is offensive to you, Melanie?
What?
My knee isn't worthy as evidence in a melted building stream, Melanie?
Melanie, you got some splaining
Are
to
you
do.
jealous? Is my knee taking away from the end of your name, Melanie?
I love it.
You have a problem with other knees.
You guys are so funny.
Not gonna take it personally. She has a problem with everyone's knee, not just mine.
Motherfucker.
All right, so back to the melt. Shampoo, you got some pictures and stuff all from Mountain page.
Yes. No, but not me. Yeah, I have some to show, but I send it to you to if you wanted to show something of it, because I cannot zoom like you can
Oh,
with your.
okay, I got you. So I got it right here. I'm going to open up my screen share and show this stuff real quick here. Let me see.
Yeah, get rid of mine. My F- screen. You'll have to turn yours on.
Share screen. I can't wait to see what's going on and all that. I heard you talking about your knee when I was driving, and you were saying all these crazy operations and things they had to do to you and stuff. Which
Well, I don't remember talking about that during this stream, but I have. Ooh, I remember you showed this to me in Messenger. That is quite a mountain.
with the surviving arch, and it's not even an aperture; it is an arch. And
Well,
you can
look at that! How beautiful that mountain's opening is.
yeah, and look at all this brickwork right here. Look at that.
Yeah.
If this was a tunnel going through, why would they have brick right here? Right?
Because these were the days of the Olympians. They always wanted to get great exercise, so they wanted it to be extra hard for them to bounce over the wall into the opening.
Yeah.
It seems like it's out in the middle of nowhere. It says
Exactly.
Utah,
See, they're going to be rock climbing to get up there. So they rock climb all the way up to the top, and then they just like have a little dance flipping over into it.
Yeah, they either scaled up or scaled down this thing to put in this beautiful arch here that nobody uses clearly because there's no access to it. It's just a part of the building that survived. Interestingly enough, my husband sent me this. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Let's get a drone in there. I have a drone. Like, I wish I could go there with my drone and just remote it in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the Iran pictures.
Okay. Yep. Oh yeah, this is from James. Yeah, I said he posted a lot of places from Iran. I didn't have a folder on this one, so I
feel like we looked at this before, though, this thing here. And look at how volcanic it looks, right? It's got that volcanic architecture feel to it, Yeah,
in the Middle East, there's so much similar places like this. It's crazy.
Iran, guys. We are in Iran.
Go ahead, Rose.
If you zoom back in to the mountain building, half mountain, half building, half building, half melted building. So the lava-ish looking building that is coming off the building.
Yeah.
I would think that just off my intuition of this picture, having looked at more and more of this stuff, that what happened here was that there was the differential in heat and pressure in that area, and it just melted like that faster than the other side. But it wasn't just that it was one building, but maybe it was more like condos, and it was one like apartment building next to an apartment building. So one melted and one stayed up. But it looks like, based on the colors, that it was the same event that made each melted building look the way it does.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this building here on top must have been a lot higher. The building had to have come down on itself weight-wise to make it only the height that it is now. So this was much larger, in my opinion. And this is a definite clue that the heat came up from the bottom on this particular area, because if we wouldn't have the top surviving the way it is if the heat was from the top down. you would see a pocket of survival very low probably in here.
Oh, I see. So maybe when it came down on itself, then the part of the building that fell touched the hot part at the bottom. So it kind of fused in below the part that retained its form.
Right,
So
right. Look at it like ice cream, Rose.
Yeah.
So say if your ice cream's melting down from the bottom, because that's where it melts, the top part of your ice cream might still have a big ball on it, that scoop that you stuck on top. But as it gets down and it's melting, there might be a part of that scoop of that ball on top that breaks off and slides down into the melt that's already there before that ball itself, that last scoop that you put on, gets affected. You know what I mean? Like if you froze it again in that state, you would be like, oh, this is some weird melted mess with a scoop of ice cream on top of it,
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. But I'm saying that based on the colors here and then everything, it looks like I'll go back to the ice cream. The scoop landed in the perfect spot where the heat was going on, so that it was like a middle part between the building that didn't fall and the lower melt.
Yeah. You mean like right in this area here?
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, definitely some slippage. What do you think, Chapeau?
Yeah, what we see now is probably parts of the top of the building, and that fell down over like the melt of the bottom part. If we could like take all away the what's we call the mountain that is on the side running down, maybe we could find like more walls of this so-called building that was there, because it probably went down way further. But
Yeah,
maybe
I agree.
Yeah.
And also on a component board, when it's frying, when it's shorting out and it's melting a circuit board, sometimes a component right next to another component that's melting down is just fine. But when that other component melts down and out, it covers over that other component. And that component is fine, but it's down there, it's covered over by a lot of the melt from the component next to it. This is why a lot of times when they're digging around, they're like, oh, we found a building down here.
Yeah, Jen. So we know there's so many underground places that people live in the ancient times that we've found. It makes sense that that's why during a God's judgment X Factor event that it would come from below where people were living a lot, because it would be a quick way to take them out without them being able to escape. And and then as it goes up, the people who are on top, you're probably not as elite, right? Because wouldn't you think the people living underground are part of the like ruling elite of the time?
I don't know.
Right?
See, well, Rose, we don't really know where ground level is. So what we're seeing underground is in the melt. So, there's some places that I think could have went down a lot further, and we don't really even understand and comprehend at this point. Could it be 8 miles down where ground level is? I mean, who knows what this place looked like before the melt? You know what I mean? I guess in the Mariana Trench is 7 miles deep, I think.
So so the picture you're looking at right now, and us standing there from our perspective, if we drilled down and found an enormous chamber, I would assume that there may have been so many people down there during the event that died, and that is the purpose of the heat coming from the bottom, is because it was a quick way to get especially like large amounts of people underground. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they were the good or the bad people. It's just the way that the mechanism of the judgment was set up.
Could be. It could be.
Could be. And I have like this theory that all the crystal and everything that we find, it's probably like melted bones and people. The rest of people, because how they make diamonds with the carbon of people now.
Yeah, they do that now. They do that. It could
maybe all of these precious stone that we call it, maybe they were made from all of the carbon of the bones of the people. It's just something. I know it's more.
But also, crystals could also grow today. But it's just that there are some crystals from like crystals that could be made from another kind of slurry of living, organisms. Yeah. Yeah, we were about to put out an episode on crystals, and so I don't know if it's going to upset people.
Yeah,
It's
for sure. It is always upset some people. Anything.
Shabu, can you find your pictures on the Kinsley mine for the diamond mine?
The Kimberly mine, yeah.
Kimberly mine. I always say Kinsley. I'm sorry. Kimberly mine. Yeah, if you could grab those, because I want to show Rose how, how it looked back then and how it looks like an archaeological site, not a dig for diamonds. And if there was thousands of people there and they all got cooked out or whatever, and their eyes may have crystallized, and maybe they turned to diamonds. I don't know, but I know your eyes turn to crystals.
Yeah, just carbon. And the highest carbon content is in the bones and the people.
Right.
Show me the interesting things at once.
Look at this. Wow.
Oh my gosh. So, talk to me. Or do you want me to go off? Because I can go off.
Go off, girl. Go off. Yo.
Look at this foyer. Let's go down the red carpet to the foyer over there.
Let's go into the melted building.
You got to zoom in over to the left, over to my left. This is where we enter the mansion. Okay.
The melted mansion.
Yeah. You're doing good. You're doing good. You see that wide opening? That wide opening?
That gaping hole right there. Yeah.
The gaping hole. We got to zoom in on that gaping hole so I could explain how you get there.
Into the melt
How do you get there? We don't fucking know because the place is fucking melted.
It's melted as fuck.
But you could go in there and you could do quite a few things.
No, it's melted as fuck, yo.
Yo.
In fact, one of the things they could do. Oh, sorry.
Oh, what's this? A hole in the ground made of brick? It sure is. Look at that. You can see it. Wow. I guess they'll say that that's a well or something.
Sorry for my coffee.
It's okay.
Wow, look at this. This kind of reminds me of Shiprock a little with that what Crystal said that they're called dikes leading up to Shiprock.
Yeah.
But this is in Iran, and this is very similar to what you see at Shiprock. That's very interesting. But again, guys, you can see the brick lines in here, and this is an admitted building. This is not mud brick. This was brick.
Yeah, admitted building, because you can see at the top there's one of those places that people would go to look and make sure that enemies weren't coming, and a place where you could have your little whatever technology or like opticals, telescope even. Look, you see that one tower that has 3 windows?
Yeah, right here.
I bet there was like a little staircase there, and then 3 people would stand next to there with their scientific experiments, because look at that location. Look how much sky you've got there and how much altitude.
Look at this melt coming down here as well. Even this guy sitting on the melt here. It's just, you can see that this is all melted out. This thing would have sloped down, probably slumped down and fell down more.
And I think what that is the last of many of those forming protection from all the shit I was just describing in there, because I think that would be a great place for scientific observation of the sky clock. So you would want a really big wall around it, and maybe there would have been a moat as well.
Maybe. It's definitely a lot higher. It would have been way, way up here. This is sunk down into the melt, whatever this is, and melted out and away from itself here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
After this kind of event, there's like safe zones that survived this place, probably because when the people came back, in a lot of places they just found like these cities and just moved in and control and just refurbish what they could with
Freemasonry.
what they saw. And I don't know if there were any survivors, but some of the survivors like helped build, but took control of the people afterwards. But a lot of stories, that people went into these so-called surviving cities and just installed themselves there and lived there until like a big ruler came in and just killed everyone and enslaved them and take the city. It's in every old tales of all the stories. So
And then they put their narratives on the place, and their historical narratives. Here you can see,
and
guys.
they educate the remaining children and to forget
Mhm.
about their past lives and stories, and that's how they do it every time. And we can see that they did it in the 1700s, what we call the 1700s. That's the last time they if, of what kind of reset, and they use the same motto.
So all this leading up to this wall right here, all this down here was part of the building. You could see the brick layers still here in these patterns here. If I'm going to zoom in a little bit more.
Please zoom.
Yeah. So here what you can see, they would say, is like sedimentary layers running through here. This is all brick layers right through here. You can even make out a little bit of mortar still stuck in here on some of the supposed sedimentary layers that took millions of years to form.
Oh yeah, Jen, look.
Each layer is a brick. So
Okay.
each layer is melted, so it's going to be smaller than what it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I found like a picture today. Stay on this one. I will show you like.
Yeah. Let me come off of. Let me let you do your.
I was on the Kimberly mine. Okay. I'll just go back afterwards.
You're muted. You know that, Rose, right? I'm just saying.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, I was talking to my cat.
Oh, okay.
Well, she was going to ruin the show if she did what I said, you're going to ruin the show, and then she was a good girl and she went around, but she wanted to go right in front of me and just go like this on my.
Oh, they love doing that.
She wanted to, play Fur Elise with her ass on my keyboard. No pun intended. Get it, Fur Elise?
Yeah. If she was called Elise, it would be amazing.
That would be.
All right. So yeah, you just showed Jen.
Here we go. You ready to share?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just.
Oh shit! Sorry. Go ahead, Shabu. I don't know what I just did.
Okay.
There we
Look
go.
at this. You just showed the same kind of thing on this melt like this,
Yes.
I love it.
But look at this,
Oh my gosh! Look at it.
There it is. There it is, guys. There's the brick.
What's going
Ooh,
on?
baby.
Now, see, if somebody came along and happened to say, well, I think this happens to be a leg from a sleeping giant, I would have to say no, because look, there's brick.
Yeah.
Sleeping giants were made of brick. It can't be. And that's what I do. I follow the brick, guys.
That is a building right there.
Yes.
All day long, every day of the week.
Anyone can quote me on saying this right here is a building. It's an old building, and we don't know what it was for, who built it, or anything about it, but that is what it is. And for some reason, it looks like this now.
Yeah, but this is the next section of it. There's nothing else but this whole church sticking out.
But that is great proof that these are not sedimentary layers.
Yeah.
They're just
I
not.
want to show
How
you.
do we gain permission to drill into these melted buildings to excavate whatever is inside?
They do that all the time.
Yeah.
They call
But
them
they don't
mining.
tell us what they find, I'm sure.
They're mining melted buildings. Look at all those window apertures behind the church doors there, up in that middle layer. Wow.
Well, Jen, don't you think that there might be something significant to be found inside these places?
I absolutely think so. This is why, all the big wigs own all the big mines.
Yeah, they blew up. Like I showed you, they can do it whenever they want. How many times did they blew up things like this? These deep undergrounds that I don't know.
But however, I know it's hard to get into the mines, but what about excavating in mountains, like going to Yosemite and being like, hey, we want to dig and excavate this area for science?
Yeah, I don't know if they'd let you do that because they're national parks. That's why they probably made them all national parks.
Yes.
So
But maybe we should be doing it in the most ghetto areas, like on the other side of a freeway somewhere.
Yeah, that's what Kairos does. He takes his pickaxe and goes over there and starts chiseling away at stuff. It's pretty cool.
And he found stuff. Yeah. So.
Okay, so go back into the screen share that I have.
Yeah, that's why they do these protected area, national parks, and golf courses, and big hotels and places with empty cities just built just on top of the old one. They don't want anyone to. It's a big plan. I know it's in the plans of the cities.
Look, Tom Petty even talks about it in the song. They know about this stuff. It's a big secret. They don't talk too much about it, and somehow they get around it.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I think that's that entrance we were looking at earlier, Rose. Maybe, I don't know, or another entrance. But again, here you could see the melt. You could see the brick layers.
And also, these places that we're looking at now, how many times were they attacked and destroyed by us? The bombings and stuff. Iran was under like a war for years and years.
Yeah.
And how many years ago do you think? Do you have any opinion? Just shot in the dark idea
Look at this. Of what, Rose?
of when this building was built?
Yeah, that's no.
But obviously, it was built before the last event.
Exactly.
We can know that for sure.
Right. So look at this picture, Rose. Just straight on, it looks like just a big lump of mud or something, right? Right.
Yeah.
But then you go over here to the left-hand corner, and there's fucking bricks sticking out. See it?
Yeah.
So if you dig away into this wall, you're going to find more brick. You could,
If you dig into the top, you might too, right?
Yeah, I mean, anywhere you dig in there, you could find it. And where some spots might be better than others.
Yeah, because you can't tell by the outside what it's going to be like on the inside.
Yeah, sometimes they have a complete rock curtain coming over the face of them, and it looks like a smooth face rock, but it's just a rock curtain from the stuff that was on it dripping down over everything.
Insane.
Wow, look at that, Shaquille.
Yeah,
It's a really good picture.
this is all Iran for sure.
Yes.
Yes.
I would love to know what cities these are.
This is I'll tell you what the name. It's a Bampur Castle. It's called Bampur Castle in Iran. Bampur.
It's melted, yo. What's up, Lilu? She always hangs out in here with me when I'm live streaming.
Wow, it's just gorgeous there.
It's all melted and muffed up. It's like a sandcastle. It looks like a melted sandcastle.
But it's pretty with the pictures.
Wow, look at this. All right, look at the melt, and then look over here. Look at this brick here. I don't know if they refurbished that or not, but that looks to me like a pocket of survival.
Yeah, I guess there looks like they're salvaging what they can.
Look at all this brick right here next to these guys. There's a whole pile right here of them.
Yeah.
To me, the pile is legit, but the ones to the left, I think, may be afterwards.
They may refurbish those, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to tell because the brick can really retain its how it was made for a long time.
Oh man, I wish I could use my mouse, but okay, let me see if I can verbally command your mouse?
Yes, tell me where to go.
Okay, so let's start up to the tower with the 3 windows where I think people would be doing scientific technology like telescopes. Now let's go all the way to the left. Okay, good. Stop. All right, stop here for a second. We are now seeing like a circular, it's like if you're inside the building, it's going to be a circular cul-de-sac. And this consists of like 3 different sections that are pointing up, connected to each other. And then all the way to the left, that would have been covering the other side, but it just fell down and off backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
You agree?
Yeah.
Can you scroll? Can you zoom out a little bit?
Yeah.
Right, you can see the bottom. It's crazy. The art. Did you see like the small old on the right side here?
Yeah, I was looking at that because you can see all the brick in there too. Under the layers of melt. See this outer layer of melt here? These are inner layers. Look at all the brick in there, guys. Even here, there's a pile right here sticking out.
Yeah.
This whole thing is building.
Yeah, actually, we're in the corner where I said it fell back. I take that back. It melted down. It didn't fall back. It melted down.
It could have fell back in
Yeah,
the
it
melt
could.
too.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of like a slip and slide situation happening here. You know
But
what I
I
mean?
just think the bottoms of it all look the same still. So it's
Yeah.
like it just went and then got stopped.
yeah.
Wow, look at this.
This is fun. I hope you guys are okay with all my random. It could be this or could be
Yeah,
that.
I love it. No, it's all good. You're a
Yeah,
fellow.
that's what we do, you know. We don't have a specific language or anything. It's
Look right here. You can see a brick pattern right here, a mortar and brick pattern right here in the melt, with covered up. It's like something's covered over it, like melted down over it, but you can still make it out. The parallel running mortar lines here where the brick would be. Even over here on this thing, you can see them all right here too. But this one here, I found, well, I didn't. Jeremy found something very similar to this up on Mount Shiha when we had our meetup. Wow, just look at this. This is what's left of this building. Now, we would think this is how high it is. This is ground level, but this is actually the very top of whatever this building was. And all this crap that you're walking over is the rest of the building all muffed up and melted away. That's all this is.
yeah, and they would tell us that this one's probably what 5,000 years old, something like that.
Yeah,
Again.
because the more muffed up it looks, the older they have to say it is. That's how they explain away the damage and devastation that we see across the plain. Oh, it's like that because it's ancient. It's, 5,000 years old or whatever. I don't think so. I think it's a lot more recent.
Yeah, when they go into these undergrounds, like let's say like Istanbul, and they say, oh, we see like 3 layers. This was Roman, this one was Byzantine, and this one was it's all the same thing. It's all
Yeah.
different stage of heat.
Exactly. And when you have shown the polymorph and the grain growth and what happens to that bottom layer that's getting heated up more and longer than the top, as the heat rises, whatever's on the bottom is getting really superheated as opposed to what's above it, because the heat has to rise and catch up there. But whatever's at ground level, what we would call ground level, or the lower levels, will expand out and look larger and becoming larger blocks, right?
Mm.
So that's when they come along and say, oh, okay, well, this civilization was ancient megalithic. Oh, and then this pattern up here, this layer is, the Bronze Age or some stupid shit like that. And then it's another settlement on top with the smaller bricks. It's just the different levels of heat damage on this building. But this is how they have to explain it to us. So we buy their pathetic fucking narratives.
Yeah, they tell you like crazy numbers that you can even fathom. Like what's.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 10,000 years old. Oh, okay. Who can go look at it? Who can confirm it? Nobody. They just.
You guys,
Yes.
there was a couple pictures back that I wanted to say something. Just kind of put something out there to ask you if you thought what I was.
Yeah, Jen, when she come back.
Yep, I'm right here. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so go back a couple pictures.
Oh, yeah. Okay, no problem.
Ooh, and there we go. There.
Okay.
All right. So when I was looking at that as and listening to what you were saying, I was thinking about how as everything's occurring and we have actually, could you put me on the screen too with the screen share?
Yeah, hold on. Let me come over here to StreamYard and come off and go back to whatever the heck picture this was here. Oh, that's wrong. Sorry. Hey, let me go back here.
Well, if you were the screen, yeah.
There we go. All right, let me get back over here to this picture. There we go.
All right, okay. So on the bottom, everything is getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and more things are falling into the melt, right?
Yeah.
So a thing that's sticking out there, a thing in the middle of what you're looking at that's sticking out would have been like the highest spire on the most magnificent building, because all of it, so much had to occur for it to still remain something, for it to arrive to the ground by the time it had cooled enough for it not to melt into everything else. Exactly. So I would guess that could even, like, a kid, think about it, this idea, like in terms of it's how ornate or how philosophical, spiritual, how important, how culturally important. That's like the angel on the top of a Christmas tree is what I would think for that to be there. Anyway, what do you think of that, Shapu?
It could be like what you just said, just a top part that melted down, or something that falled off from the other parts of the building. Either way, it could be both, because we cannot confirm, but it's a really good observation.
Or the top of whatever that building in the right-hand corner, or what's left of the other building on their side. So we already have two buildings that have survived more pockets of survival. And so at some point that could have flown off one of those structures.
Yeah.
Good enough. I don't know.
Yes.
It's melted as fuck. I know that. All right. Let me continue on with these pictures here. 2, 3.
Because you
Oh,
cannot-
look at this. There's an arch right here, Shapu. See that? They
Yeah.
wouldn't just build an arch right there. So this had to have been higher and had something under it here for this arch to be down here. Yeah.
Yeah, like just in the same way you see a tree fall in a forest.
Exactly. Yeah. And also, I'd like to point out this brick sticking out down the bottom here that survived, just sticking out of the ground. Of course, they probably didn't build it like that. This is just part of the building coming down that survived here in the melt. Little pockets of survival. Arches seem to make out really well. Okay, so here it looks like they've refurbished some of this site here. On this one side and stuff.
Yeah, you can see their scaffolding right there. They do this a lot.
Yeah.
Over the years, many places.
Well, look at all this down here. I wonder what this was. See this going here? This looks melted and muffed up. And then maybe they put something in here, but I don't know. Definitely looks like this thing here was part of whatever was already here. Whatever that is, that track or whatever.
Yeah. All right. I like this. This is very interesting looking. And you know why? Because it's so weird. Like, it can't possibly ever have to be in this position. So obviously it's in a different state than it originally was supposed to be.
Yeah. This is so fascinating. I love this stuff.
It's just so smooth. So
yeah, it could have been recovered sometimes. We don't know how many if they came back to this place and just put another cover of cement on top, or just to preserve it. Sometimes they say just to preserve the rubble, not to break and stuff. They do this a lot of places, but we cannot know, and it's hard to really find the information on these places when they were refurbished and stuff. It's
yeah, you could argue that the bricks before that Jen was just talking about would put there to refurbish, to hold it up, or hold up the melt.
Yes,
And this is a great example of what they tell us are sedimentary layers here. This is an admitted building, clearly. But again, it looks just like what we see across the plain. These layers right here, which they tell us take millions of years to form on their globe model. It's all cooked out. Again, in the arch there, though, if you pay attention, right here at the end of the arch, you can see a cluster of brick right here.
Oh, I can't. Can you
see that? Can you make it big on your end? The lower left-hand corner of your screen, you should be able to enlarge it for yourself. Let me go back in. Can you see it, Rose?
Yep.
Right here.
Yep, got it.
All right.
Much better.
All right, let me keep going here. Wow, look at that side there. It's just crazy looking. But again, no matter how muffed up it is, we seem to always see these brick layers, even though these are melting over themselves and you see a lot of empty spots, like voids where bricks were, it's still retaining their parallel lines. Just like we see in that fort in Russia that supposedly had some napalm-like substance go off in it, which caused an extreme heat event, and the bricks melted. They have this very similar look to them.
Ooh, do you have a picture of that? I've never seen that before.
Oh, yeah.
I could look it up if you want to just tell me.
Hold on, I got it.
Okay.
Do you have it, Shapu?
I can go get
All right.
it. But I had already these Kimberly.
Okay.
Kimberly
You got the
mines.
Kimberly up. We're gonna show her the Russian fort real quick, if you can get it real quick, or I can just look it up.
Where did I put my? Did I close it? Oh no.
Okay, but yeah, look, pay attention to this melt here and see how the bricks are literally, some of them are not even in the spots anymore. That's what you see dripping down everything, is those bricks that are not in their spots. That's why this has a real runny look to it here. The bricks were melting out of their locations, but at the same time, there was enough there to still hold up these parallel running mortar lines.
Yeah, the bricks became like a honeycomb.
Exactly. And you're going to see this in this fort. You got it, Chapu?
No, not yet. It's loading. All
Okay.
right.
All right, I'm going to come off my screen share for a sec, and we'll get that going. Yeah, because I love showing that one. Especially when people don't understand about the bricks and how they melt and what they look like melted. They actually, they look like stalagmites or stalactites hanging off the ceiling, and they have that glaze to it, like they have been vitrified with that glossy glaze over them, which is from extreme heat.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry. I'm just.
Would you ever be open to doing a show with me and my mom?
Sure, why not? That sounds cool.
Like a melt smack on her.
Yeah, we can do that.
Really, I don't want you to feel obligated, but it would be so much fun for me.
Oh no, yeah, that would be so cool. Has she ever heard of this topic or research?
Yeah, I've been sending her videos, and I just know that she hasn't watched them. So, but we have to make it into a fun thing that we're doing together on the internet.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no denying the melt once you see it. Okay, here we go, guys. This is the fort in Russia. I'm going to be making it big on my end here. Okay, here's the brick in the ceiling, and it's melting out of its location. You can see that it's got that drippiness to it, Rose. Do you see how it's hanging down? But pay attention to the brick lines running all the way across the ceiling. You can still make out the parallel running lines,
yes,
even though the brick is still melting. Underneath this layer of melted brick is perfectly fine brick, because we see that in other locations in the mine where the part of the wall has fallen, part of the melt has fallen away, and there's good brick underneath of it.
Wow. Boom, baby.
And this is admitted. Now, I don't buy the narrative that they're putting out for this thing. I'm just saying, they say that there was napalm-like substance stored in this location, and somehow there was some kind of accident. It went off and burned all this place up. This is a good example of the heat striations too, Chapu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So anyway, what I feel like is that this particular, and I think it's a star fort, isn't it? Or is it just one of the forts?
Yeah, it's a remain of a fort, a Russian fort.
Right, like a star fort. Definitely
it's
look
not
X
shaped.
Factor.
Yeah, it's not shaped.
Oldworld and X Factor.
Yeah. But yes.
Look at that, guys. Okay, here, look. You can see the bricks coming out of their location, but you can still make out these little spots where they were.
Yeah.
And this is recently, so imagine what that'll look like in 200 years.
Well, see, I don't think this was. Well, yeah, I think that this is part of the X Factor event. I'm not buying their napalm narrative.
Oh, okay.
To them would have been in the 60s. This place is out in the middle of nowhere. They could put any narrative they want on it and say that that's what happened to it, in my opinion.
Hallelujah. Spoken like a real truther whose mama raised her right.
This is interesting here, Chapu. Look at how it looks like chocolate melting, churning and melting out of it.
Yeah.
Don't make me hungry, Jen. That's dangerous. I'm already looking at DoorDash. No.
Look at this here. Look at it just dripping out of the ceiling. How many times stuff like this in caves even? Again, still scrolling up on this picture, Chapu, you could see the parallel running lines, that it was brick lines. See, they call them sedimentary layers. You see this kind of stuff in what they call volcanoes too, guys. They're just bricks. Yeah. Melted bricks. Look at that shit. Melted as fuck. Yo.
Yeah, look at this one.
Wow.
You see like the two bottom.
So yeah, the floor melted away. You can see the lower level, but look at how damaged the bricks are. I mean, they're completely melted. It's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, that is magnificently
bricks
fascinating.
melt at over 6,000 degrees, guys. So this is an extreme heat event that we're talking about here. We're
I don't know what to make of
on
that because
fire.
it's so different than anything else that we see. Because yeah, it's just, that's a big head scratcher to me. But hey, it is also real. Regardless, okay, look, the last picture, that right there. Wouldn't you say that when there's a brick that's half red, half black, that a black brick and a red brick is just the same brick that's
Yeah.
going through a heat
Yeah,
differential?
exactly. Yes. Yeah, because in some of these, the same brick, half of it's black and half of it's red, like in this one spot in the center here, off to the right a little bit, and which is a transition. You see these tranny bricks throughout the plane.
Yeah, you see the bricks can turn like a bluish, greenish, red, like this, like golden kind, yellow.
Oh, that's good right there. Go back to that one, Chapu.
It turns to a
See
lot
how the brick is running down the wall over the other bricks, like just like it's creating this smooth, runny curtain down over everything, onto the floor even. So the big controversy when melted buildings first came out and everybody was having a huge issue with it was, oh, you're crazy. Bricks can't melt. What are you talking about? And, and then I bring up the fort, to show people bricks can melt. Whether you buy this narrative or you believe that it could have been the X factor that did this, bricks can melt. There it is. Okay. So when we're saying that all these other buildings were melted and, we see the proof of the melt, we could see the extreme heat damage and the different levels of heat damage just using this as a what do they call that? Like a sample or whatever for our discussion here of melted brick. Yeah. All throughout this thing are all different levels of heat damage, which proves our theory, which is not a theory anymore. I feel like, we've confirmed it over and over again.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, right there, Shapu. Go back one picture. All right, looking straight ahead through this archway, you're going to see these lines going up and down the wall. Sometimes they go sideways even. These are not pickaxe marks. We are in a brick building that is melted, and these are heat striations. This is what happens when it gets to an extreme level of heat, especially even here where it's gone black, almost tar looking, almost what you would call that black obsidian lava look to it.
Yes.
Wow, look at that. You can see them on the ceiling hanging down in this drippy state, and then it's solidified mid-melt and hung there, and it's there forever like that.
Yeah.
How many caves and tunnels, underground stuff have we seen that looks like this stuff? I mean, wow. Here's another example. How many tunnels and all these different things that we've seen where half the wall straight up the side is all cooked out, melted, janky, weird rock, and then the arch of the ceiling is perfect brick, which comes down. This tells you that the heat came up from the bottom and it stopped right here at this level, which looks like a watermark, you might say, but it's actually a heat mark that's left behind because the arch survived. If this heat kept running up the wall, it would have eventually consumed this arch and we would have drippy brick in the center. But that's not what happened here. The floor is completely cooked out.
Yes.
Yeah, go back one picture.
Wild.
There you go.
This one?
No, the other one. Down one. There you go. Look at that. Just look at it. Look at this drippy brick right here. It's incredible. I just love that stuff. Wow.
That is just amazing.
Yeah, I've got really good one.
Melted, muffed up brick. All day long. Again, here, look, you could still make out the parallel running lines of where the brick lines were, even though they're dripping out of their spot. Everything's running parallel. This is why they have to tell us sedimentary layers and can't tell us what this stuff really is. Oh, it took millions of years to form it all. Look at how they're dripping out of the ceiling. You can still make out the lines of where the bricks are. Even on the walls where they're melted down and over, you could still make out the supposed sedimentary brick layers. Wow.
You can still see the mortar.
Incredible.
Yeah, this is the island, the actual one. So.
What an interesting shape, too. Just
yes.
The top of that building ended up being.
It almost looks like a bird in a way, doesn't it?
I was going to say that too.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the German bird planes.
Yeah.
But around that area, they have a lot of islands that look like this, but it's probably being flooded.
It's out in the middle of nowhere. Nobody ever really goes there. And it's usually frozen half the time over there. So I feel like the narrative that's given for this place is BS, in my opinion. I have no way to prove that, but considering I know what I know and I'm seeing this here at this location, I feel that it's BS.
Yeah.
Wow, that is great. This left-hand side, where you can see the mortar, you can see the brick melting out of its spot, lipping over onto the next one. I mean, all that, Chapeau. It's melting down over itself. It's going to create a rock curtain. It'll be a solid rock curtain if it would have kept melting.
Yes. Let's try to find like the one I was looking
Stay
for.
there for a second. Okay, on the right-hand side here, look at how cooked out and black it is, but you can still make out the mortar lines.
Yeah.
In
Just
front
like
of us,
the honeycomb again.
in front of us, we have these straight vertical lines coming down over the brick. This is extreme heat. And certain locations, they like to tell us that these are pickaxe marks, but they're not, in my opinion.
Yeah, you can see.
Look at that.
Those colors. I knew you were going to go back to that one. That's so good.
This one?
Yeah, it's just so pretty. And look at the. I don't even know how to explain what I'm thinking I'm seeing. I don't know how to make you notice the part of it. It's just freaking crazy.
Yeah. And the glaze on it, that's vitrification.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so you said it.
Now you see these glazy type of stonework and stuff in a lot of different supposedly ancient sites that they tell us, like Ollantay Tambo and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, this the fort that Jen wanted to show.
So why don't you flip over to the Kimberly mine now? We'll go over to that and show Rose what this place looked like, because you have the black and white photos too, don't you?
Yes.
So we were talking about what this thing looked like, and there's supposed to be a diamond mine. And, what are diamonds? Where do they come from? What is that? Now, this is what their mine is. Look at this, Rose. Does this look like a mine to you?
I couldn't say because I'm not very familiar with what mines are supposed to look like. Well, but it looks like a town to me.
Exactly. It looks like an archaeological dig, in my opinion. Now, if there was people down here, and how far does this go? Where is ground level, like we've been saying?
Are they living in the mine?
No, they're mining it. They're saying that this is the way they're digging it out.
No, look.
What are those little temporary structures to support what they're doing in all of their daily?
They're temporary structures right here on top. They're digging down into this thing, and there's
not under. It's not under.
It's so crazy, this mine. I mean, it looks to me like an archaeological dig, and they're coming into these buildings and mining out whatever they find, and apparently they're finding supposedly diamonds.
Yeah, and a lot of diamonds because they used it for many years. And they say they dug a hole that was 1,000 feet deep. Here, look what they say. This is what's
left of what we just showed you.
Yes, before they filled. This is today. It doesn't even look like the same place to me. But this is what it was, and they dug 1,000 feet down, just like I showed you, like this now. Is it the same place, or is it? How can you go from this to a big giant hole? It's crazy.
That is really weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, this is.
Look at this. It looks like buildings. It's just not a mine. They're digging down into a town and extracting out whatever crystallized during the melt, during the extreme heat and pressure, which caused the crystallization, especially during the solidification process.
That's what I need to. Okay, so as I meet more and more miners, I need to ask them, have you ever stumbled upon a structure?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We'll make the make my story about the gold thing seems silly if we could say that someone found a freaking VW bus down there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they found some places each time they go down these holes. I've heard the story when in Istanbul when they were digging for a new, just under a store, they were digging for something. They found like it's deep underground, and it's still they didn't dug everything because it's so immense, but they just found every place like in a it looks like a mine, but they found bricks like we see in every video of people going into these mines exploring. They always stumble on a brick wall somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen them go in the caves, these people who do cave explorations. And this one guy, I remember he's in this cave and he's like, look at that. What's that brick wall doing there? And sure enough, there was like a 2-3 foot brick wall.
Yeah. Yeah, this place is just crazy.
All right, so let's get back into Iran. Chipu, I'm gonna go leave it to you with your Iranian pictures, and because we looked at a lot of the Facebook one already.
Okay. All right, so I'll start with this. All right, this place. Oh, I've closed my stuff again, but I will show like a small, a short drone video. So.
Okay. All right, I'm going to put us on big screen so everybody can see it really well.
All right, so this place, it's called Lashtan Castle in Iran.
Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful.
Wow.
So the video is 17 minutes, but I won't play it all, but just some parts of it. Just amazing. Yeah, you don't need the sound. But yeah.
Wow.
Just tell me if you want.
Oh, there's structure everywhere. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it goes down deep, and look at this melt. It's all melted. You can really clearly see all of this.
I would show this to anyone who had said that it's impossible that a mountain could be a melted building, because this looks like a melted building for sure.
Yeah.
I think this was a massive building that was interconnected.
Yeah, I don't know how many times some people went and bombed this place again, but look, it shows the remain of melted structures.
Wow.
Cracked as it was melted there, and other things just kind of crumbled. It's so fascinating how things respond differently to that heat differential and like location in its location in perspective to the sun during the event is probably a huge variable.
Maybe because we see some places look like this, the inside and the out is different colors, different effect, and
a lot of these places were thick with brick, guys. It wasn't just like 2-3 layers of brick. It seems to be many layers of brick.
Yes. Look at this.
Look at that.
Amazing.
So all this janky weird rock that you're seeing at the bottom here as they're going up was brick. Yeah. Look at it. All this was nice, beautiful brick. Now it's all muffed up and X-factored.
Yeah, you can see this one has still like this stucco covering on top of it.
That's what I was gonna say, Shapu.
Yeah, I don't know if they went back and refurbished at some point, or it's the original. I cannot confirm, but yeah, crazy. All of this was everywhere, It's not only like the bricks, but they had all a covering.
They all had coverings. A lot of the buildings that we look at, even in Petra and stuff, they have an outer coating, and sometimes it's still on there. In Petra, you can find places where there's a thin veil left of that outer coating, but the bricks are still kind of, you can see through it.
Well, that's just funny because if Petra is a mountain, then why on earth would they need bricks inside of it?
You know,
Yes.
they say they carved the whole thing. And another thing, there's a lot going on underground at Petra they're not talking about.
Yeah.
Wow, look at this. There's a whole wall right there. A whole wall. Oh my gosh. Look, because just think about it. Look at how crumbly and crazy it looks, right? Do you think they actually climbed up here? Let's pause it right there. Do you think they actually climbed up here and built this structure on this
my
precarious, weird spot right here that looks like it's about to sink off into
this
the
is
oblivion?
freaking insane. This is like electrical shit going on here.
Yes.
Like the blueness has to be some kind of chemical reaction to some kind of like lightning strike mixed with freaking lava mixed with the cool down. I don't know. It got
There's
something.
a lot of things happening during the X Factor. There's different stages. There's different levels of heat. Different locations got hit harder than others. If you watch a motherboard meltdown and short out, it's kind of like that Lynchburg thing, where it goes through. It'll hit certain components and completely fry and melt them out, and other ones will be slightly damaged off to the side. And it just depends on where the arcing of the short out starts and where it ends up at.
You know what I'm feeling like as an idea based on looking at it? It really feels like at this moment during the event, there may have been a large object, maybe similar in size, if not another section of this exact structure, flying past of it as like a huge like swirl of wind or tornado, and just like someone keying a car, and it just sloughed off all at once as it was melting, exposing this deep inside part while we still have the pockets of survival on top. What do you think of that?
It could
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, it makes sense because a lot of places we see that the half of the building is missing, and we see like the interior portion of it.
Yeah, and you can make out brick in this weird slurry below here. I just spotted a few. They definitely did not build it like this at all, in my opinion. This is a product definitely of the X Factor.
Yeah, just
Look at
just,
this.
just
Oh my
this-
gosh.
it's crazy.
Hey, Lulu.
This is Iran.
Yes, it's called Lashtan Castle.
Lashtan Castle
In Iran.
I want to go there.
Yeah, it's really hard to find like pictures of this place. I couldn't find much. Only this video and a couple pictures.
Look at that mortar.
Yes. You can see the mortar squishing out there. You can see the brick has turned to weird janky rock that you find in your backyard now. Okay. Again, this was all brick. I want to stress that. This was all brick. Red sandstone is red brick.
Blown out from the heat.
Yeah, molecular changed by the probably the frequency hit, electricity, heat. It's a lot of different factors involved in
Red
this.
brick. Red motherfucking brick. Look, stop it right there. They would call this underwater like coral, shale rock, and stuff. But it's not. It's just cooked out brick. You see this all over the place underwater. We've done underwater melted buildings on one of my channels, right?
Yeah, we've covered a couple of places underwater, but not a full show on it.
China Wall in Hawaii was really cool, though. When we covered Hawaii,
Yes.
China Wall diving section there is just wow. It looks like this underwater.
Hey guys, I'm so sorry. I need to take a 4-minute break to pee.
Absolutely.
No
I'll
problem.
do a little. We'll put a little song on. How's that sound?
Yeah. I'll move to another place afterwards because shit, look at this.
You guys keep going if you want. I'll just the volume out here is really loud. I can listen and just
Okay.
It's up to you
Yeah,
guys.
sure. No problem. Wow, Shapu, look at this. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is one section on top of one building that was really hit hard.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Lulu? Oh, that's a good shot right there. Right there. Let's pause it. Oh my goodness. You could see the way the building. Okay, so this circular thing here in front of us, right, was up much higher. Now, looking down, out, away from this circular structure, you can see the melt running out down the left side, all that rippling down there. This building, this structure was much, much higher. It's come
Yes.
down in the melt. That's just incredible. We'll have to go back to that and show Rose that one. And look at that ball-looking half dome right here. Yeah, look at that. That's interesting. That's probably what this one here looked like too. Probably had a whole dome over top of it.
Yeah, who knows how big it was.
Let's just look off in the distance here. Wow, look at that.
Yeah, all of this also. I know it's unbelievable, but
There it is.
yeah, you can clearly see that probably this was like a big tower, and the rest of it, probably more. It's anything you can.
I remember Crystal when she was talking about how she got into meltology and she started, me and her had some personal conversations, and she's like, oh my God, I'm really starting to realize it's everywhere. It's everything. It's just all encompassing. And, and then you start to think about the people who were here, what happened to these people, or what was the cause of the extreme heat event. The fact that it's everywhere and it's all encompassing is just a mind blower in itself. But I've been there. I've been there about 3.5, 4 years ago. I was already there, and I've moved past that. But it's interesting to help other people move through that and really wrap their head around this melt situation and what we're looking at here.
Here you see this is the thing that you were mentioning, Jen, the half dome.
Mm-hmm.
But it's probably was like the top of a big building with the dome on it.
And there's some stucco still left on there, it looks like.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, what are these? What's all this?
But yeah, these you can clearly see that somebody came here and modify what was here,
Wow.
Because you can clearly see these are machine marks. These are not like heat striation. Somebody came here and modified something.
Unless that's the pattern they had there with the
Or if they had the pattern, but I've never seen this in any building.
I haven't seen this anywhere else neither. It almost looked like tire marks there for a minute, like tire tread.
Yeah. But they come and tamper with.
Let's pause it there.
A lot of stuff.
I want you guys to take a good look at this, because you see this on top of Mauna Loa, and you know what they tell you it is? They either say it's a windbreaker or a fucking splatter cone. Yeah. Okay? This, whatever this structure is, was all brick. You can see that it was brick, but now it's just janky old riprap.
Yeah.
All this right here, all this janky weird rock that you're seeing everywhere was brick. That's another thing that people have a hard time wrapping their head around. But we've shown how it works. We've shown how the heat attacks these things and turns into this.
Yes, you see this one has been filled up.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of dome shape, but look at these buildings.
Oh my gosh. This whole thing was building. All of it.
Yeah, look at this. All crumbled down on top of each other.
Now, see, let's just take that as an example. If that was underground and that there was a void within the building, say a pocket of survival, and you see a lot of this in these mines where you'll have a slanted ceiling of some sort with a brick wall next to it, supposedly holding it up, right? Now, I think that or I don't know what earthquakes are exactly, but I feel like if these buildings go down, and say this thing was underground and it had slippage, say something was settling or something, say they blew a bomb off 10 miles away in some country, I don't know, and it could reverberate through the underground and shift these buildings and make them crumble unto themselves within themselves. I think that's what earthquakes are. I could be wrong.
Right? Yeah, it could be, Jen, because they have made so many tests, the military establishment all over the years, and also in the 60s, 70s, when there weren't too many people like putting out information of this stuff. they did many experiment with the eye explosives in a lot of places, creating craters that now they tell us that they are meteor craters, but actually they were like atomic bomb tests that they call it. And they create the same kind of crater and as deep, as big, and it can create like tunnels, and they have experimented a lot of stuff. The new civilization that we are in. Because we don't know everything, you know. Yeah. But look at this melt.
Look, that one looks like an igloo there. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
the
like-
one behind it too. Look, see
Oh,
that
this,
one
this, yeah,
igloo shaped.
yeah, yeah. So it could have.
That's a feat in itself, building a dome out of brick. I'm just saying, guys, if you really think about it, okay. And then supposedly in the time frame that these people are talking about with their historical narrative, give me a break.
Yes, they still have trouble doing it out of brick only.
So this big white lumpy pile right here, if you could imagine this the top of your ice cream, and look, yeah, what you just circled around it, especially on the left hand side, you can see it was melting out and away from itself. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, all of it. You know,
And also, I want to stress to people, it was not just brick. These buildings had as many different interiors and exteriors as we have today on our buildings, guys. At the base of it all, okay, like say when you look at my house, if you take down the paneling outside and everything, you're going to see brick, okay? So I have exterior coverings. I have interior coverings like sheetrock and drywall and all this stuff like that. And the same goes for these buildings as well. They also had technologies within them. And a lot of the metals and stuff had melted away, melted down and through all this. Wow, look at that. Look at that.
some people will call this sponges.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's exactly, but what is it doing there? So high, so in the melt, so I don't know.
Yeah, they try to call this like that shell rock or something like that too in other locations, or rip rock.
It's made of it, so it couldn't be it. Yeah, it's crazy. No, melted steps.
Everything was something else before the X Factor event. The quartz crystal that they say is up on Mount Chiha, that I take pictures of and video all the time, these parallel running crystallized lines, they're mortar lines. You could see that they were mortar lines, but they're calling it quartz crystal now.
Yeah, I've seen some call this is all the wood tree sap. You know.
Oh, the amber?
No, yeah, like amber, but all the. I know it's crazy. I've heard the someone that looks at all of what we're looking at. He call them all trees, and they say that the crystal, the quartz, is tree sap. You know, so we have both.
I would have to say, if the quartz crystal's tree sap up on Mount Chiha, it forms perfect brick patterns.
Yeah, I know. No, I know.
We've shown it.
No, yeah, I know.
We walked right up to it.
But you know, some people.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, this place goes down.
Yeah,
Like, you know what we're
but
saying.
you've seen how. I want to show you like again, the best part of it. Now it just goes. You can go at the stills. I took like pictures of still pictures of the place. Look at this one. You can clearly see that it melted down.
Yeah, yeah. Yep. Wow.
And all the holes there, they looks like it was remains of other buildings, towers, or something that's been
Love this one.
burned up.
All the holes.
Yes.
I have to go pee now, so it's my turn.
All of those holes, I feel like we're holding big, like spires, obelisks, or maybe just like rods that were holding up other buildings, like that is so big that we can't even imagine. Like those holes were just holding in like beams for other buildings that are just gone because they were just dustified. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be Russ. Could be.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, dustified. It's a good thing because all the sand, all the rubble that we see here was part of the buildings that was there before.
Man,
These are probably grave robbers that went and tried to find some treasures, and now they would tell us that these are like crypts, probably. But,
I don't think so. It looks like the side of a building that just fell flat.
I could also. There's
Yeah.
so much things.
Oh, go back a tiny bit, Shapu.
You already peed?
Yeah, I was quick peer.
I'm the slow one. You're the fast peer.
Somewhere coming up here. Okay, right here. Stop it right here. See these rectangular and square windows here? Yeah, all that. That's the interior spaces of the building. See that what we talk about. You see sometimes like the rest of the building's gone. So here looks like the interior spaces of the building that we're seeing there.
Yeah, and also they have been filled up by some melt because this melt is from the inside out,
Yeah.
also not from the outside in.
That's why we see all these pockets of survival and stuff on the outside. On the inside, a lot of times we see that's where you see the heat striations at. That's why they try to tell us they're carved. They pickaxed all this shit out. Look at this.
Could you show an example of heat striation that isn't in regards to nature? Could you show me like heat striation on a real like human built building, like a house? Like, is that something that anyone could Google? Like, can
probably.
heat striation be easily researched when I check?
I guess so.
I don't know if you could just look it up, heat striations like for the melt. But there's been outside, above ground, out not just in tunnels or what they call caves and stuff, but we've seen them on the outsides of structures that's melted as well. Yeah, we have to get those. Look up those locations. I can't think of them off the top of my head.
But you can clearly see that this place has been obliterated by something.
Yeah, and it's everywhere you look. There's structure everywhere.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of Herodium a little bit. It's just everywhere you dig, everywhere you poke a hole, there's more structure.
But now, if you don't remember what it looks like from afar in a couple seconds like this, you can see it.
That is wild.
And all these other, it's the same type of plateaus.
Wow.
Probably not uncovered or anything. It's
If we weren't alive at this time, we would just be stuck looking at the things around us. But we're so lucky now that we could see the whole world.
Yeah. Yes. No, that's.
How did they get up there and build all this? It's crazy.
No. Yeah, I don't know. No, but because there's no place, there's no entry point anywhere on this place because it's probably was inside of this old thing.
Yeah, and the fact that you can see the main wall going all the way around the edge of this thing, you can follow the wall all the way around.
Yeah, kind of. There's some places that it's missing, but yes, because we don't really know at that time how the land was here. Probably all of this what we see sand was not there, and it's was really lower.
All that in between all these spots is all melt.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is the rest of the cities, probably. Because all I say, it's just my opinion. I don't have no proofs of what I'm saying. This is what I'm seeing. That's it.
Yeah, you generally come to these conclusions based on the evidence that we see.
Absolutely magnificent. Look into the lower left-hand corner, how everything went a little bit diagonal, and then you get more definition of like layers of what I would call like maybe the different levels of the different floors. You know what I mean? Smushed
Yes.
together.
Yes. Yeah, so this was my post tab.
Ooh.
No, lash tan. Yeah, lash tan.
That is amazing. I want to go there and hang out. I want to
Yeah.
ask you all what happened.
Yes.
Ryan, Ceiling Fan Man's watching. I saw him in the chat a little bit ago.
What's up, Ceiling Fan Man? I'm proud to have Ceiling Fan Man as a best friend. He's the best.
That is awesome.
All right.
So my theory on Minds and Found It is if you find it above ground, you come upon it, you found it. If you have to dig down and get something, then it's mine. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, we were just looking at.
Give me more. I'm addicted.
Yeah, you see that all my pictures that I could find are from this video because there's not much of this place, really.
Ooh.
Just lurking.
That one looks, hold on, can we look at that one for a second?
This one?
Back. That one. Can I want to zoom in if ironically see oh, it went
Yeah,
away.
they're just loading, yeah.
Ah.
So where do you want to look at?
Wow.
Flooring.
I guess I have to look at it for a second before I. Ooh, he's got a little face. He's a rock monster, like from the Never-Ending Story.
No, this is.
Yeah. Yeah, what is that? So maybe I'm thinking that this part of the building was made out of a different kind of material, which reacted to the heat in a different way that allowed it to continue staying white. What do you think, Jen?
Could be probably the white. Sometime it's all the mortar that probably went down, but we don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's just a big old melted mess to me.
But sometimes the brick just turns white.
Okay, let's look at that. Go back a picture.
Go back.
Look at this.
Wow.
I actually think they built this. Okay, with this circular parapet or tower right here on the edge of this cliff thing, looking like they're in California and the cliff houses they have there.
Jen, that would be like a child asking her mom and pointing to a wind chime and saying, "Mommy, can we build our castle on that?"
Yeah.
So you can see that this heat left a little bit of apertures here before you get to the janky rock up top. This building's just wasted away here in the middle part.
Look at those tubes of look at the freaking beams to hold up the building.
Yeah, you see that, Rose?
Vertical beams.
Yeah.
Vertical beams. Put that in your sedimentary layers and smoke it.
Right?
Yeah. So I know. I guess we've seen all of this. What else do I have? I got a lot of folders that we didn't look at, but I still got some. Oh, this one also. It's really interesting. Am I still sharing? Yes. All right. So there's this place also in Iran. It's called Shabanker Dynasty. It doesn't say the place. I couldn't find pictures.
Oh my God.
I couldn't find. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. Look in the middle front.
Right there.
Is that a king and a queen statue?
Where do you see that?
Wearing an elephant head, wearing a helmet. Look in the middle front, sitting next to each other.
Yep, I see them right there. And you can see columns down the bottom too. Okay, Shapu, right where my banner's running across, right where the word M The M is going right under them right now. Meltology just went under the two statues right there that look like they're together. And below that are columns, perfect columns cut off. Look at the lower right-hand corner. Move your arrow over a little to the right, Shapu, from where you're at. Right there, there's the columns. See those columns? Now look at the columns above them when the other layer's up. And you were just talking about the columns that you saw melt at that last place, Rose.
Yes, could be just like this.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Motherfucker.
We need to play it.
Cool.
Yeah, but this place I couldn't find the exact location. But yeah,
Look at that, guys.
just a pocket of survival.
That's amazing right there. You can see how the heat was chewing up this one side and ballooning out and stuff.
Oh yeah, and furthermore, making it more diagonal and moving down. Are those more statues from the outside? I feel like there were statues around the perimeter of this.
Yes, could have.
Look at that. Oh,
look at this, guys. Let's just pause it right here. Okay?
Yeah, because you've got the outer layers melting away from the inner layer.
Yeah, this is good stuff right here. Let's just take this in for a second. This kind of also reminds me a little bit of Crowley columns in a way. Shapu, when we covered those.
Yeah, yes, but they're more like what we call now cisterns. You know, it could have been like the bottom of one building. All these columns. Yeah.
This is really good right here. I could just look at this all day. Sorry, you can keep going.
Yeah, I don't. That's just a couple minutes still.
Melted Israel was really cool when we did that. I really enjoyed Israel.
Yes. Do I have still?
I said that like my family. I wish they would watch it. So we just need to show them in person. We need to have a stream with them and show them that way.
Yeah. So what's funny about these things that we see all the time, they never have these doors or openings on these because they probably either buried. This is what we see. It's only the top of it. Because I don't know if they were used for quarters, living places, or is just like a energy generating devices, these buildings.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was so awesome back then that they could have multifunctional things like art versus healing versus pleasure. So it could be like a swimming pool that's also healing you, that's also like a work of art, that's also like positioned in such a way to generate free energy. But I mean, I'm that's just a potential. I'm not sure.
But
that even could be possible.
I agree with you, Rose, because
I agree as well.
Everything.
Yeah, because when you look at Vesuvius, there's a statue head embedded in the side wall of it. Why would a volcano have that? Or even like, I think everything was ornate like that. You know, everything was beautiful.
Yeah.
I can't even explain what I'm trying to say.
Well, if you look at here, this thing, and you can look at the background here, you can see like the same kind of shapes, ghost of these shapes. Like into this mountain there.
That's very true. That's very true.
You know, around here and this place. Probably all of this was probably part of the higher thing that slid down. You know, it's. But look at this arch there. Yeah, it's just amazing. Yeah.
That's a good shot right there, Shapu. Pause it. Let's just pause it right there and take that in. Wow. These are really good examples of pockets of survival. This kind of actually reminds me of Tenerife right here. A little bit.
Yeah, all of this.
Doesn't have these great pockets of survival, but you can still make out the floors of the building, like literally the floors.
Because we don't know. You know, people maybe they didn't find it when they were searching for building during war times, or the back reset, and this one passed to their eyes, or it was even nicer, but it doesn't look like it was attacked or bombed, this one, like other places, like Hawaii and all these places. Nothing left. They just removed everything. Even here in Canada, they have removed a lot of these old world building that they had. You got stories from the elder people that were like, say, Nova Scotia, that in the 1800s they demolished all the some kind of fort that was there, probably another star fort, but they demolished everything and covered it up, and nobody knows now. So many places like this, we don't know.
Absolutely amazing. That is incredible. Oh, just the majesty.
Do you feel like once you see it, you can't unsee it, Rose?
Oh, of course, absolutely. Of course, every now and then you'll see certain things and you'll try to figure out what it is, but other times it's like, oh, melted building.
Okay, they want me to play Mike Brady again. Guys, look at his eyes. They are bloodshot like he just smoked a blunt, yo.
That's very true. That's very true.
I'm going to do it one more time in case you missed it. Look at his eyes. They are red like he's high as fuck.
That's very true. That's very true.
You had QB.
Thank you, CFM.
Gorgeous.
Okay.
That is the pocket of survival.
Yes. All right. So I think that's about it for this place. I don't know the name of it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I cannot read it because he only said it's from the Shabakara dynasty. Who knows what it means? Not me. But this is the address right after Esteban Heights. Turn towards Zell. It doesn't say where it is, but because there's no name for this place. All right. So I'll put it in the chat if someone wants to watch the entire thing. This is the Grand Canyon in Iran, but what can I? Posh Tab Castle, yeah. This place, okay. Let's just look at this really quick. It's a YouTube short video. I don't know if it's gonna appear good on screen.
Okay. Oh, they got that 360 looking into it.
But this is really high.
Wow.
And you'll see that they call it a castle, even though there's no remains almost. But it looks like ice cream just melted.
Why would they call it a castle? Unless it was a castle.
Yes. But in a lot of places, they called it what it was really. Because in Turkey and everything, these ruins, sometimes we call it something else, but they call it a castle, a ruin of an old building, but we call it something else.
Again, I'm just going to play this real quick while we're watching the video here, but in case anybody has...
Yeah, I've done it, so it wasn't that long.
Okay. And in case anybody missed it,
According to Encyclopedia Britannica, mountains generally are understood to be larger than hills, but the term has no standardized geological meaning.
Just how many natural formations are really just extremely weathered, extremely large stone-built structures? Maybe there are many stone granite hills, and even maybe mountains that dot our Earth, which were before millennia of grand structures of the forgotten people.
What we found is melted So this is our first clue. That some high temperature event had happened. What we found is melted glass spheral. So this is our first clue. That some high temperature event had happened.
Sufficient to melt subway signs. Hot enough to melt a car into puddle parking.
Oh my God, guys. So, was there an echo for you guys? Because I had an echo. I felt like I was tripping listening to that.
No, that's okay.
I thought it was artistic choice.
Thank you. You heard
that guy right there kind of said something important, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did. Our first clue, there was an extreme heat event, or these little glass spherules.
Yeah.
All right, Shapu, what do we got here? Is this that same place, the castle?
Yeah, the posh tab castle that they call a castle, but that's the only thing that's remaining, you know. Yeah.
Wow.
You can clearly see it was melted in some way. And look at these now blocks. But
yeah, well, you can still see sedimentary brick layers throughout the thing.
Yeah.
The sedimentary brick layers. Look at these melted steps. Go to the steps you have right up there in your over on your slide of different pictures. At the very top, you have melted steps.
Oh yeah, yes.
Those ones right there.
Yeah. But then I want you to go back to the picture we were just looking at after you're done with talking about this.
Yeah, look at these melted steps.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Jen. Yeah.
No, you're good. I'm just saying, who's carving melted steps? Or they just had so much foot traffic up that it just wore out perfectly melted looking.
Okay. So this picture, Rose? Or
okay, yeah. So you know how we were talking about the oval stones that were glass windows?
Yes.
What if they had blown out, landed where we see these holes, and so they were fused there, but then over time, because they were so beautiful and like spherical, that they were just stolen by people for art purposes?
Yeah, could possibly be also. Yeah, because when I found like these the rocks that I found, there's a lot of these holes, and sometimes they're empty, but sometimes there's something inside, like a piece of copper or gold or platinum, you know. So it's possible.
That's drippy looking.
Yeah, look at this.
Look
you
at
can
that.
clearly see that there was some kind of sculptures or things.
Yeah. And look, you can see bricklets there too that you're on right there with your arrow. You can see little red bricklets.
Yes. Again, this place is really hard to find good pictures. And look at, don't know if the melted steps were part of the building or made just for tourism. I don't know. But yeah, look at this.
Oh my gosh.
People go up.
I would love to explore that.
And they call it, like I said, they call it a castle.
Whoa! Go back. What is that? What? Blown out glass windows that were in the shape of things? Wait, what? I'm trying to work this out in my head. What?
No, this is yeah.
This is real head scratcher. I'm gonna need you to email me these 8 pictures.
Yeah, sure.
Wow. Look at the brick up. Go back. I'm sorry. Let's look at the top. You can see the brick up top, right? And then the melt of the building coming down over itself here. It's just absolutely amazing. You see, you follow the flow.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. Mountains are melted buildings, guys. Boom, baby.
Boom.
And these are from the video that I want to play.
All right, let's go back a tiny bit. Go back 2 pictures.
Are you eating, Jen?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I was sneakily answering my door, and I just got my DoorDash.
No, right where it. Okay,
This
stop.
one?
Stop. One of these, yes. Those were some crazy melts that you just ran through. But one of them, yeah, that one. Click the one below that one you were just pointing at. Right there. Look at this terracing. You see how we talk about the terracing? We see all this terracing everywhere. This is the building melt. Melting out and down away from that. When we see the terracing, that's a sign that it was a building, guys. And it was probably up a lot higher.
Yeah. But then over time, it got evened out more with the nature growing on it.
Yeah. And rainfall. And look, Jen, yeah, like they were probably melted because look, there's a part missing.
Yep. Who's carving melted? Who's building melted steps?
Probably it went around like this, I guess, kind of a ziggurat or something like that.
I got you.
Wait, let me ask you something, Jen, about melted steps. In any case, if every single solitary time it rained in a certain spot, like in an Italian or French town today, like the way that the rain falls and the city is set up, if there was some steps somewhere and every time it rained, it became a flood down those stairs. Mm-hmm. In a couple hundred years, do you think it could look like that?
I don't think so.
You don't
think
think
so?
so?
It would have to be a constant flow of high pressure water going down those steps for however many hundreds of thousands of years or whatever for it to erode it away, the whatever they would be made up and stuff and start to do. I don't think it would be from a couple hundred years of foot traffic and weathering.
Yeah, no, because water.
Because we would see that now all over the place, but we don't.
Yeah.
Well, it's only that I thought I saw it in certain towns.
Stay on this picture. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's the only time I thought I've seen melted steps in a modern town.
When was it? Where was it?
2004. I was in France, and it was just some rock, some city on top of a mountain that you have to hike up to, and there was just all French art.
Uh-huh.
And it just looked like there was some smooth, crazy ass steps that were sunken into themselves.
Yeah, you probably saw some X Factor steps there. But this picture here, I just want to say real quick, you could see that this ridge running straight in front of us here, this white kind of ridge with all these holes in it. This was the building. Okay, you could see how it's melted down. You could follow the flow of the melt here, everything. It's pretty crazy, this picture.
No, yes, Rose, the water doesn't really erode anything. It's what's in the water, like sand and rocks, just like you put rocks in a tumbler, to make it smooth, you have to put other rocks. If you just put one rock and water, it won't do anything,
Yeah.
Yeah, Jen.
Wow.
Yeah, this place, this posh.
Oh, who's carving a weird, janky window/door here on the ground, going into something like this? And look at these steps; they're melted.
Yeah.
Petra has a whole melted amphitheater.
Yes.
Wow.
People just go up these melted walls today.
Sorry, I was coughing, but earlier when you were saying that, I totally know what you mean. I was trying to say good point.
I thought I heard you say it. So. Yeah, look, Jen, just.
Yeah. That picture, yeah, click on that one. Look at that. That's a good color picture. I like that.
Yeah, because all these pictures.
It's so amazing the way that the lighting from the sun and the moon hitting things at different times and days in the year and make
back a picture
different colors. It's amazing, and I'm so grateful to witness these things.
Yeah, look at this melt. Look at this drippy melt melting over itself here, and then it's solidified mid melt, and this is what we have.
Yeah, just like we saw on the bricks, but just bigger scale.
Yep, it looks like candle wax even.
Yeah. It's melting
Wow.
like wax. And
Wow. Go back to that last picture. Can you do it? Yeah, you can see this was a building. You can see it running down over itself. You can see the apertures. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
You can see the brick layers. Wow.
Something happened, and I don't believe that erosion and wind erosion and water did that. So,
Because wind erosion and water, that plays back into the thousands of years of wind and erosion and all this stuff like that. So it keeps pushing back the timeline.
yes.
Like the Sphinx enclosure. That was not water, in my opinion. They have to say, oh, yeah, look at these fissures. There must have been an ancient time when there was rain here in Egypt. No, it's muffed up and X-factored.
Yeah.
Look at that. Wow. That's the interior spaces of what's left of that building.
Right. I was going to say that because I feel like that's the thing that I'm always seeing. And that always stands out to me.
Yeah.
When I see it going along at the same latitude.
You can see the different floors.
Yeah.
I want to go inside the smushed floors. I wish I was a midget.
Yeah, look at this, Jen. The stairs.
I'm going to have to end my guest appearance in a few minutes. I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah. I was probably going to keep it around the 3-hour mark. So we'll be good.
So how many time is this?
We got about 5 minutes.
Okay. All right. So, well, I had some more, but what else?
Whatever you want to do, Shapu. It's up to you.
I can show this place. It's really interesting. I'll show you like the old picture of this place, Maku, it's called, in Iran. Look at this. What they called wall, but this is interesting.
Yeah,
It's
something
there.
like that.
But this is what it looks like today.
What? Oh my God. Okay, let's go back.
Wait. Let's move. I
So,
feel like
yeah.
the competition is this side or this side.
What it looked like, and this is
what.
Yeah. So this is what they represent on paintings from the 1800s. I have even like this one. You can read that it's Maku, and this is today.
What the fuck?
So what happened from that time to here?
what?
It got blown out. I mean,
Yeah, something happened.
Are you still eating?
or a lot of melt.
Yeah, I don't know if when this melt happened, because this looks like it was after some kind of event. People just found this, but now all of it is just
You
destroyed.
see a faint wall running up the side there on the right-hand side. See that wall running vertical, slanted up? Yeah, that. Now let's look back to the other picture. Is there a wall there?
Yeah, this one. No, I don't think it's this one. Or it's reversed, because when they do these kinds of thing, these print
Could be
are
that
sometimes reversed. But yeah,
something there. Yeah, that's crazy.
but you can see the outline of this arch
Yes,
that they show.
and you can see in the middle of the arch coming down, the apertures running through it. Just like if you flip back to the old picture, it looks like there's those right there.
Yeah, these things that they have ladders that they went to explore. Yes, a closer look. But do I have like closer? Yeah, you can see this remains of the wall, and this is the inside of it.
Huh.
But you can see these niches that you were seeing, Jen.
Uh-huh.
Look, if I zoom in, you will see like buildings, remains. Look.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I see it. Wow. Oh my gosh.
Right there.
I'm sorry if you heard me burp.
I didn't hear you.
I think somebody did. Out of everyone listening who has great
Has earbuds in. Oh, what's this? Why is it all blackened and charred down here? Interesting.
Oh, wow.
Wow, look at that.
Just some remains. This is what they gave us, some drawings of this place.
And now?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, now it's this.
Oh, I know why they built that on top of that mountain. They were using it to play hide and seek.
All right, stay on that last picture.
Which one? This one?
Right there. Yeah. Look at the tower, a thing in the center, that rounded tower thing. And below that is what we would call sedimentary layers, but you can see that they're brick layers. You can see it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see here that this brick starting to look a lot like this.
Mm-hmm. And you could just see how it runs right into the building. What they say are sedimentary layers. They're not.
Yeah, you can clearly see here.
Here's a thought for you guys. If we get to a point in humanity is that X Factor event of judgment is going to happen again, wouldn't it be interesting if the best thing to do is to go back to these kinds of places? Because they were the pockets of survival, and they were able to survive the most, right? So people in the area will start hiding out and putting chicken coops and free energy figured out in that spot and like start securing it. And what do you think, Jen?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it happens the same way every time, you know? It's hard to say. I don't think we should even try to think about escaping it. What we should think about doing is going inward and getting right with God, because that's what's going to save your ass.
I know. I just like I'm being a baby about physical pain. That's all.
No, I got you. But, you know, I think at this point, with this type of fervent heat, if you will, biblically speaking, it's instantaneous pretty much.
Like you're not going to, So it's like for someone who actually does feel pain all the time, like I really shouldn't be freaking out about this because it's like it's bad.
What happens is it doesn't matter where you're at to survive. It's where you're at spiritually.
I believe that now, because now I don't complain as much about my physical problems. Instead, I just stay focused on, am I doing the right thing?
Right. That's what you should.
Am I being a helpful thing here, or am I causing problems for people? I want to be a helper, not a problem causer.
Right. Exactly. Do that one below the one you're on, right there, Shapu. The one your arrow's on with the below that one. The other one next to it.
This one?
Below that one. Right there. Look at that one. That one right there. Look at this, guys.
Wait. Are we looking at a bird's eye view of something, or are we looking at
a bird's eye view of Zagros mountain in Iran?
That looks like heat striations, right?
Yeah, you could say that. Or these are definitely walls left over from buildings.
Yeah, it's,
wow.
Or also beams.
Can you zoom in on this, Shapu, on these long wall-looking structures?
What are slee stacks?
Slee stacks are from the Time Machine movie.
Ceiling
Things that live underground, right?
No.
Ceiling fan man's always talking about them.
What's not
stacks,
not the Time Machine, but
oh no, what is it?
Another series.
My wonderful friends,
Lost,
I'm sorry.
I
really do need to say my goodnight tonight, even though I'm really interested in this. I'm going to watch the end of this in like 30 minutes, but I have to do something right now.
Okay, no problem, girl. We love you.
Oh, I love you too. And I love everyone in the chat. And
wait.
I just hope everyone has a beautiful night. And I love you all.
We love you too, girl.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Rose.
Have a wonderful, wonderful night. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so happy that you invited me. Thank you.
I love you. I'm glad you came on with us. Thank you.
Yes, it was really great.
And Shapu, I want to say thank you to you as well. I think I'm just going to end it here. I think we had a lot of fun, and we've pretty much, proven that Iran is melted as fuck, yo.
Yeah, again.
And it's from the Land of the Lost and the Slee Stacks.
Yes.
The Slee Stacks. But they look a lot like those things from the Time Machine that were underground that were coming up. I think they kind of look like that.
Maybe they're
Or no, the Slee Stacks, weren't they more lizard looking? I think they were lizard looking with big weird eyes and some kind of cone thing on their head or something like that, a ridge or something.
Yes, you got it.
It's been so long. Look at that.
Yeah, I don't know of the original one. I just know about the new one that Will Ferrell did. You know, I never looked at the old Land of the Lost.
Right.
I'm not that old.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to get ready to get out of here. I do want to play something on the way out. Shapu, I love you. Thank you so much for all your help with this. And I know we're going to be back in a few days with another show. We have a guest that we're trying to get on, a surprise guest, and we're trying to work a few things out. We still have a lot to cover. And I know CFM's going live on Friday, so we won't be doing it on Friday. So it could be Thursday, our next show. But I'm going to play this little video, and we're going to get out of here, guys. Shapu, thank you. I love you so much.
Thank you, Jen. I love you too. And everyone else in the chat. Thank you for being here. We'll see you on the next one.
That's right. Let it not be said that we stood by and did nothing. I love you guys, and we are out of here. 7, 4